And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, the Dalai Lama, what's going on with that guy? You know, I'm hearing a bunch of excuses talking about, oh, it's a culture, ABL. What kind of culture does that? Whatever culture that is, I want to be far, far away from. Also, there was an interview on TMZ with the so-called real estate mogul, Kurt Rappaport, whoever that is. Y'all may know who that is. But he says that Californians are regretting their decision to leave the Golden State and they're coming back home. That'd be great for me, but is it even true? We'll talk about that in a minute. Also, the culture of tipping in the USA, has it gotten out of control? Has it been out of control? You tip everywhere. You tip at a restaurant as normal, but you also tip at a fast food joint. You tip everybody, anybody. We'll talk about that in a minute. Also, shout out to the fake pastors out there, but specifically a young man by the name of Justin Pearson out of Memphis, Tennessee, who gave a 1963 civil rights movement speech, but he's only in his late 20s. What's going on with that? We'll talk about that in a minute. Also, the federales are linking certain words with certain extremist movements. You want to say this, you want to say that. Be very careful. You might be on the list. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you're enjoying the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We got a whole lot to discuss tonight. But first, y'all know how I do. Shout out to the sponsors. Shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these internets. Their link, of course, will be in the description. Also, shout out to my website, ablmerch.com. We got hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right on the website, ablmerch.com. Check it out through the link in the description. Also, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. If you go to the front page, I write articles for each video that I produce. So if you're wondering, hey, ABL, where'd you get that little factoid from? Where'd you get that evidence from? Everything will be right there on the website, on the front page, anthonyblogan.com. Again, that is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Also, go to the contact page on my anthonyblogan.com website to get my contact information, whether that be my email address, my snail mail address, my social media accounts, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. All that is right there on the website, on the contact page. And if you ever have a question about if you're actually talking to me or not, first of all, I have verification on all my platforms. Okay, I have 2 Facebook pages. My regular profile page, I have the verification thing on it. I'm verified on YouTube, obviously, and I'm also verified on Twitter. Okay, I did the paid verification. Yes, I did. Matter of fact, I'm going to talk about that for a moment, but first, let me just get through this whole thing about a disclaimer. So I'm verified everywhere, and that will be a good way for you to know whether you're being scammed or not. As I always say in every video, whenever I post a video on here, especially on YouTube, there will be people that comment to your comment. They'll reply to your comment on my video. So let's say, for example, I put a brand new video out. Okay, you have a brand new announcement. Gavin Newsom running for president. DeSantis, same thing. And under that video, you comment, oh, great video. This video sucks, whatever it is. And then somebody replies to your comment, hey, this is ABL, and call me on this number on WhatsApp. That's not me. Never call nobody on WhatsApp. Never text them some random number. You will only be able to, like this. You see this right here, the 434-658-1220. The number that's right there in the ticker, also in the description box. That is the only number you will ever have from me, unless you know me like in real life or we've communicated through email. So The only way to contact me really is through my email, which is on my website on the contact page, anthonyblogan.com/contact. I will never just give you a number to text or call talking about Bitcoin or Forex or something else weird like that. So do not get scammed. It's 2023 and nobody got no time for that. Now, just briefly, I'm gonna talk about the paid verification because that's the thing. This has been kind of floating around Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can buy the so-called blue check on all those platforms. And I've done that. I have no shame in it. First of all, on Instagram, I also have people that try to impersonate me. There is or was one account that had 10,000 followers. That's not very easy to get. It had 10,000 followers. It was impersonating me. It had my picture, a name that was very similar to mine. It had Anthony B. Logan with a period and an underscore. Okay. If you're not paying attention, it might fool you. And I got a lot of emails, a lot of DMs. Hey man, is this you? The account was DMing me, asking for money, all this and that and the third. So to prevent anybody from getting scammed or fooled, I paid for the verification. On Twitter, it's $8 a month. On IG, it's $15 a month, and same thing Facebook, because Facebook is also Instagram. They're owned by the same parent company called Meta, which ain't nothing but just Facebook's little offshoot, just like Google and Alphabet. Different story, I digress. The whole point is I pay for those verifications to eliminate or reduce the possibility of you being scammed by somebody on those platforms. You know, if somebody has 10,000 followers on their Anthony B. Logan spam page and paid verification, first of all, you can't do that because on Twitter, it's a little bit easier. You see, on Twitter, there's no actual verification, and I want them to change that. On Twitter, all you got to do is just pay the $8 and you're good. Now, what Elon said is that reduces the bot accounts because it's so easy to spin up the bot accounts. It costs pretty much nothing to do it. But when you have the paid verification, it exponentially increases the cost of being able to do such a thing. So if you want to impersonate a celebrity, you could spin up thousands of bot accounts, thousands of fake accounts, okay? Or if you just want to be a troll farm or something like that, it's easy to spin up these fake accounts and create troll farms that'll come out there and astroturf, misinformation, all kind of stuff like that. So that reduces that. But I wish they would implement an ID feature. You see, on IG and Facebook, you got to provide a picture ID. So when you see the verification on Instagram, on Facebook, it doesn't matter if they pay for it or not. It has to be them. Unless there's some kind of identity theft going on, unless they done took somebody's ID and whatnot and uploaded that. But I had to upload an ID and I got to pay the $15 per month per profile. So I pay $15 on Instagram and $15 on Facebook. I'm not trying to get status. I don't really care about that. Quite frankly, I didn't even really want the blue check on Twitter, but I just don't want people to get fooled. I want you to know that it is me, that it is my account, and I don't want anybody to get scammed. I don't really care about the blue check status. I'm not trying to go into a club or a bar talking about, yeah, my name is XYZ so-and-so, and I got an IG blue check. I'm not even worried about that. You know, I stay in the crib, do my work, go outside, work out, that's it. I'm not really into all the extra ridiculous status stuff. That's not really how I operate. I'm not insecure like that. If somebody is into that, then that's on them, but that's the reason why I do it. So that's the reason why I pay for the verification. And I think it's a good thing. If anybody is trying to do something on one of these platforms, if you're trying to start a page or whatever you're doing, and you want people to know that it's you have a company, you could have 10 followers. You want them to know that it's X, Y, and Z machining, X, Y, and Z Easter baskets. You want them to know that it is you and you're not on here trying to scam anybody or whatnot. It'll definitely help your business and it'll help your brand to not have any kind of bad mark on it, because you could have a business out there with a few followers. A scam account pops up. Right when they create their account, they block you right away so you can't see them on your page. Okay, they block anything linked to you, and then they go out there and scam as you and collect money and don't pay. They don't deliver the goods, and then somebody will write a review on your Google and say, hey, this business scammed me, when in reality, it was not you at all. Anyway, I digress. So if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. Stranded Lifeform says, why does a social media platform need your phone number and address for? Well, to verify who you are. I mean, they don't need that, I guess, but if you don't really care about verification, then don't give it to them. But if it matters to you, then it matters. Just like if you are a business, they need your stuff. If you are a business, you got to give them that, right? Because you're going to give your business address, your business phone number, so they can contact you, so they know where you're located. But if you're not really into social media like that and you don't care about anybody impersonating you, then don't give it to them. You know, I say don't even really pay. Like I said, it's not even about no status or nothing like that. I couldn't really care less about the blue check. That's not really going to help me, really. It's just more about, I don't want nobody to get scammed. I want you to know that it is me you're interacting with and not a spam page. That's all. But it's not for everybody. I don't expect everyone would get it. And I hope that it doesn't come down to everyone has to get it, because that's kind of ridiculous. You got to get a subscription service for everything. You got to get a subscription for all your social media accounts. You got to get a subscription. You know, I have some embarrassing subscriptions. I have a car wash subscription. Yes, I do. I have a car wash subscription. They put a little RF thing on my windshield. I drive up to the little thing, and then the gate pops up. I drive straight through. Okay, that's kind of embarrassing, but that's one of my only subscriptions that I think is kind of ridiculous. Okay, I think I can have one ridiculous thing here and there. All right, but beyond that, I don't do too much crazy subscriptions. All righty, so that'll be that. But we got a lot to talk about tonight, and I don't know where to begin. I think I'm gonna start with tipping culture, talking about money and stuff like that, talking about extra money that's not necessarily needed. Let's talk about tips in the country. Now, this is a big thing. There's a whole big piece about this on, I think, CNBC. And I'm going to see if I can find it right quick. But basically, in America, as you guys know, or maybe you don't know, if you're not living in the country, if you live in somewhere else, basically what's going on is this. Tipping has gotten kind of out of control because you are expected to everywhere. Like, okay, you go to a place to pick up food. You order the food online, right? Matter of fact, before you go online, but before you go to the place to pick it up, you order in the food online, and then when you're on a little page to check out, it'll say, hey, do you want a tip? It's like, wait a minute, I'm just ordering food online. All I'm going to do is go in there and pick it up. Tipping is typically when you go to a restaurant, you sit down and you get service. That's what it's for typically, right? Okay, you got a good waiter, waitress, whatever it is, good service, they're prompt, take care of you. They're not hovering over you. It's a good balance, right? They're not hovering over your food, asking you every 2 minutes, hey, are you good? Are you good? They're not rushing you to get finished, to clear the table, to get the next person on. They're good. It's good service. You feel good about it. They're laughing, cracking jokes. It's all love, right? Had a good conversation. They do the whole thing where they kneel down right in front of you at the table, put their elbows on the table and talk to you. The whole thing, right? They entertain the kids, little magic trick, all of that. You give them a tip. That's customary in the United States. The rest of the world, I'm not really sure. I'm not that well traveled, but you guys can't speak about that if you live in other places. But anyway, it's customary here to tip in the restaurant if you get good service. But what's happened over the past few years and during the scamdemic is you tip everywhere. You ordering food online. Okay, you want to get 20% for that, for the tip? Why? If you go to a place and you just order food, it'll be a little kiosk, right? Matter of fact, okay, this is a keyboard right here from a Surface Pro. It'll be a little kiosk. And then you can put your card right there. There's a little area right here, something like that. You could put your little Apple Watch, your touchless card, pay for it right there, okay? And you could go about your business. But, hey, I need you to go ahead and sign right there and No matter of fact, they have it this way first. You can't see the screen. This is the screen, right? It'll be this way first in front of them. You take your card, you put it on a little reader outside of the screen, and then they'll flip the screen and says, hey, okay, all you got to do is sign, and it's going to ask you a question. And that question will be, hey, do you want a tip and how much? And it might be $10 for what you order. You might be in Starbucks getting the mochaccino, cuppa, frappo, latte, whatever it is. Hey, do you want a tip? Just for being able to go in there and pick up the order, okay? Just like fast food. You go into Wendy's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Chick-fil-A. You're literally just going through the drive-thru or going inside and getting the bag of food and going about your way. But places like that are saying, hey, do you want a tip? It's everywhere. And the question is, has it gotten out of hand? Has it become very high pressure? And you know what else they do? Here's something else they do at a regular restaurant where tipping is okay, I suppose. It's normal. What they'll do is, rather than the big kiosk at the front desk they have at some of the food places, they'll have a machine that's like a little bigger than a cell phone, like an old, one of them old calculators, the graphic calculator, but a little bigger than that. And they'll have the whole bill right here on the thing. You put your card right there, and right in front of the guy, you'll put your tip amount in there. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I had that happen to me recently. I was at a nice restaurant in Atlanta, and the guy came out there with the thing, and it was a big bill. I'm not bragging because I really don't like expensive spots like that. I'm not even the kind of guy. Personally, I think Olive Garden is better than a lot of these high-end, highfalutin restaurants. To be totally honest with you, I think Olive Garden is an amazing restaurant. That's like a 5-star in my mind. I'm not even exaggerating, but different story. I digress. The point is that I'm not really into the highfalutin spots, but I will go occasionally, depending upon the occasion. And anyway, it was a big bill. The guy brings out the thing. I put my card in there, and I'm not really afraid like that. I walk to the beat of my own drum. Some guys would want to go ahead and flex in front of their date, in front of the restaurant, in front of the waiter, and he'll put in a really big tip right there on the spot to make sure everybody sees, to get the guy's reaction. You know what some guys will do? Some guys will pull their phone out and record the guy. Hey, react to my big tip so I can record you on TikTok and put it in the compilation and put music behind it and talk about how I made your day. Some guys will do that. I don't really care about that. You know what I did? I stuck to my plan because I know when you're talking about tipping on these little machines, what'll happen is it'll go to the server's check. So I'm not sure about the kiosk when you're at the front desk. Does that go to their check? I don't know. Probably to the actual establishment. But when they bring this out at the table at a restaurant, if you tip right there on the machine, that money will go to their actual check they get, and it's going to get taxed. So they're going to get less money. So here's what I already knew I was going to do. I had cash in my pocket just for the tip. All right. I was going to pay the bill with my card to get the points and all that good stuff. But then I was going to give the guy a tip in cash. So I put $0. I was like, I put $0 for the tip. I ain't care about nobody's reaction. I ain't care about nothing because I knew I was going to give cash. But, you know, a lot of guys are not that comfortable tipping $0. Like, even if they got cash, like they don't want to do it. So they feel pressure into tipping. Now, here's the question. Is tipping a thing that you should do? Is it a requirement, kind of a cultural norm here in America? I've heard all kind of arguments throughout the years. My dad was like really against tipping. He would tip, but he didn't like it. He was like, yo, why are we tipping? Like, just charge the money. Now, I'm going to explore that part of it. Speaking about the money, like just charging the right money. I think what had happened is in the restaurant sense, now some of the other spots where you got a tip or where they ask for a tip, it's a little much. I don't want it to get to the point where you go to a grocery store. As a matter of fact, they do that in a grocery store, talking about do you want to donate $1 to starving Africans? I'm like, no, I don't actually. Tell me okay, the bill is $8.98. Do you want to round to $9 to feed starving kids? No, I don't actually. No, thank you. All right. If y'all want to donate to them through your profit, then go ahead and do that. But I don't want to just give you extra money. No. All right. And I don't know where that money is going. It might go straight to your pocket at the end of the day, straight to the executive's golden parachute. No thanks. But I digress. Getting triggered. Anyway, some are going to say that you should do it. Some are going to say that you shouldn't. Some are going to say, oh, but the whole thing with the restaurants, what they might end up doing is, okay, I back up a little bit. I kind of got lost in my train of thought. Wait staff typically get paid much less than minimum wage. So let's say the wage is $7.25, right? Federal minimum wage $7.25. Wait staff getting paid like $4 an hour or less, or right around that. I'm not sure what it is now, but back when I was a youngin', it was like $2 something. It was a low amount of money. Why? Because the wait staff would get so much money in tips, the hourly wage didn't really matter. You see what I'm saying? That allowed the restaurant to have more wait staff on the floor at the same time because they weren't getting paid that much. There was a low payroll, low overhead, so you're able to have more wait staff. So let's say the minimum wage was 1/3 of the federal. You could have 3 for the price of 1, essentially, right? But now if they got to get paid, if there was no tipping, they got to get paid much more than the federal minimum to make up the difference, and they got to charge more for the food because they got to be able to pay the employees more to have more from the floor at the same time to provide good service. So you won't be sitting there with your food or at a table with no food on it. You eating bread and water for like 45 minutes waiting on your table to get served because you got a shortage of people on the floor because they can't afford to pay. You're going to pay double the price, triple the price of food, and you got to ask yourself, is it even worth it? It'll get to the point where you're going to have a big divide between the restaurants. In my opinion, you're going to have the McDonald's type spots, or maybe even as fancy as a Chipotle, I guess you would say, if you want to call that fancy, as far as kind of a fast food type spot. Or you're going to have those spots, and then your 5 stars, super expensive, dress code, that kind of thing, with not much in between, in my humble opinion. Now, here is a little bit about me. If y'all don't know, when I was a kid, when I was a young man between 17 and 22, I worked in the restaurant, Old Country Buffet. Y'all know if y'all been here for a long time, I worked there 17 to 22. I was in the back washing dishes, and I would also prep food. But I knew all the wait staff. They were cool, like mostly girls. They were real cool. A couple guys were out there waiting tables, and I knew what they would pretty much bring because I could go out there and see the tables. If I got to bus them, I already know kind of what time it is, what they bringing in, and they would tell me what's going on. All right. This is Old Country Buffet. This ain't no real high-end spot. You're talking about $10. You can go eat whatever you want. So imagine the spot where the bill for a date is like $100 on average. You get 2 drinks, 2 entrees, $100 right there. So imagine what the tips are in a spot like that. It's pretty good. So you kind of got a whole industry built on tipping that if it was to go away would just result in the prices being exponentially higher for the same quality of food, the same service. It's going to be exponentially higher. Or you got to go down to a Popeye's chicken as your next best bet rather than going to a 5-star spot and spending like $1,000 for a family of 4 or something crazy like that, right? But y'all let me know, like, do y'all think that tipping is a thing that has gotten out of control? Is it okay in the country? How do you feel about tipping personally? Now, about me, I'm a little bit biased because I'm a former restaurant worker, so I know how food service is. I tip pretty much whenever I can, not all the time. In the food spot, I'll tip. But if I'm at Food Line or some grocery store like that, they're talking about do you want to donate to hurricane relief, to starving kids in Africa? No, I don't. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to tip at CVS pharmacy. Okay, I'm picking up a bottle of aspirin or something. I don't even like aspirin. Why am I going to tip you? I'm not even really going to do that. But at a food spot, like let's say Chipotle, if they have that option, maybe I'll do it. At a takeout spot, maybe I'll do it. And you know what? Here's why. It's kind of self-serving because check it out. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do that. Thank you, Green Springs. I'm gonna do a tip poll, and the question on the tip poll is going to be, because how do I do this? I'm gonna think about it for a moment. The tip poll, I'm gonna say something basic. Well, I don't know, because what should I ask? Should I ask, do you support tipping, or has tipping kind of got out of control? Which one would be the best? Because supporting tipping is kind of a vague question. I think, has it gotten out of control was kind of a little bit vague as well. How about this? Are you a proponent? No, I'm gonna just say this. Do you support tipping? Do you support tipping in general? How about that? Oh, a tipping range? Okay, we could do a tipping. Nah, because that would answer the question, do you support tipping? You know, so I'm gonna read some of these. Stranded Lifeform says they want 15 an hour. Okay, make asking for a tip illegal. See, that's what I'm saying. That right there is kind of where we're going. If you want to make tipping panhandling, that's going to be an issue. But back to what I was saying about, I'm a little bit biased. I tip everywhere that I can in the food spot because I understand what restaurant workers go through. And I know that the industry is built on tipping. So I tip whenever I can. Also, I go to the same spots a lot. Yes, no, sometimes. That's a good one. Thank you, Backup. But I go to the same spots a lot. I'm very recognizable. I'm tall. I'm big. I got this great beard, but I don't look like I'm that old in person. So when you see me one time, you're going to remember me again. I'm like a sore thumb. I stand out. I'm usually the biggest guy in the room. You're going to recognize me when I go in there. Okay. If I go into an Asian restaurant and I keep ordering a green boba with some duck fried rice every time, you're going to know it's me. It got so bad. I'm a creature of habit so bad. When I was in Virginia, I would call a Chinese restaurant every Wednesday and order the same thing. General Tso chicken and an egg roll. I ordered that for years. I would call them and they would know my voice. They would be like, you want General Tso egg roll? General Tso egg roll. Okay, 10 minute. Every Wednesday, they knew my voice. I'd be like, hello. I start my order, they know my voice. So if you're like on that kind of like first name basis, I want the tip so they know when I call in, when I place my order, oh, he gonna tip all the time. He's good. I like him, all this and that. And the third, I want them to put a little bit of TLC in my food. I don't want nothing sloppy. I don't want nothing lazy. I don't want the guy that's about to get off his shift, don't want to be on the line no more. I want the best of the best because I think in my mind, maybe I'm being naive, but if I tip, they're going to think a little bit more about making my order right. Just maybe. And again, you see me all the time anyway, so I want to build that relationship. So when you see me somewhere else, hey man, how you doing? As always, like I've been there before where I see some guys I recognize from the restaurant and other spots in the city, and it's like if they see their best friend. I done been given gifts by people. One of the guys works at the restaurant I go to all the time. He went to Korea and brought back some Korean candy for me. Hey man, glad you're back, man. I got some candy for you. That kind of thing. It's called building relationships with people. That's why I tip. It's kind of self-serving, but it helps them too. They win, I win. What's the problem? But that's the reason why I tip in restaurants. Now, here's the poll question. Do you support tipping? And we're going to do yes, no, and I think somebody said sometimes. I don't like giving third options sometimes because it's kind of a cop-out. It's like, well, but for this one, I think it's kind of necessary to do because it's kind of a broad and vague question. All right. Exactly, Keena. You treat it just like family, 100%. Absolutely. You might get invited to their house for dinner. I've been there too. Just by being kind to people whenever you can, even if not about cash, even if not about money. You don't got to be rich or nothing like that, but just go out of your way to treat people nicely and kindly in whatever way you can. Again, not even about money. You could just speak to somebody. Like if you go to the same spot all the time, talk to the person, say hello, be nice, be friendly, wherever you go. If you walk the same route all the time, you see some of the same people, just be nice, friendly, say hello. All those things matter. People remember that because we're all human beings. We appreciate when people are nice to us, when they're kind to us, when they speak to us. All those things matter. And they're going to remember you. They sure will. All right. So that's what that is. Silent Outscribe said, as a busser, if the waiters and bartenders made money, I make money. Love tips. Oh, yeah. I was in that same space when I was working at Old Country Buffet. They would tip me sometimes from the outside. Some of the waitresses, they would tip me. Or they look out for me. They will always just look out for me and just, I don't know, when you do things for people, when you treat them right, however you can, whether it be about money or just how you treat them and how you talk to them, they remember that kind of stuff. All right. So that's what that is. So I'm looking at the poll right here. It's interesting. See that third option really did it. Do you support tipping? 46% say yes. 45% say sometimes. 9% say no. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah, but that's the main thing. So, but to tip everywhere, like at a fast food place or a grocery store, it's kind of getting out of hand. And then the tips keep going up, the expected amount. So, okay, I got to pay 20%, then 30%, then 40%. It's crazy. Dynasty says, I never tip more than less than 15%. Most of the time, 20, 25%. Same. At least 20%. That's usually how it goes for me. Sometimes I might just be feeling in the spirit. I'll tip more. It depends. If I have cash in my pocket, and the tip should be like $10, I'm not going to be like, no, if it should be $15, I won't give the $20 and be like, give me $5 back. You know, no. I will do that at a barbershop though. If they say, okay, the cut is $30 and they want a $5 tip and I give them a 40 or $40, I want that $5 back for sure at a barbershop. Although I've not been in years. When I was in the barbershop back many, many moons ago, I was paying, I think 20 plus tip. So $25. This was like in 2012. I've heard about some astronomical prices for haircuts and hair salon styles. Into the hundreds of dollars for a hairstyle. And then for like a female's hairstyle. And then for guys, $50 for a haircut, $80 for a haircut. Ridiculous. I mean, what in the world? When I was a kid, $10 for a haircut. And then it became, I think, $15. You would just pay $20 and you'd be good money. But now, $40, $50 is getting out of control. Out of control. Green Springs says our tax is 10%, 5% sales tax, plus 5% meals, tourist tax. Tourist tax? What in the world? Crazy. Totally crazy. We have high sales tax here in Tennessee as well, but we have no state income tax. So that's the trade-off. You got high sales tax, but no state income tax, so it's good money. Wilma Flintstone says, a restaurant in my area automatically includes 10% for staff. No longer go there. Wow. That's crazy. $50 for a haircut. Yeah, I've definitely seen that. So I've not been in the barbershop for a long time. Even when I was first getting my bald head, like actually cut in the barbershop, I was still going. Like first I was getting bald fades and then I just started getting my head cut all the way bald. It was a good little experience though, but what's the point of paying $20 plus a tip every time to get a bald head? I mean, they you get treated pretty well. You get the nice cut. They bring the straight razor out and trim you pretty good. And then they put the towel on your head, the hot towel though. I want that experience back. I don't know if I got to get a hot towel machine in my house. That hot towel was everything. It's like being in a spa, for real. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, I'll keep on rocking here. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Michael Esparza says, don't tip in France. It's insulting. Very interesting. I wouldn't even know that. Yeah, I think other parts of the world, there's different customs. Much different customs. It's crazy. Ron says $30 now. That's crazy. But I mean, I kind of understand that it would go up to that much because I ain't been in the barbershop probably like since 2012, 2011. So, you know, talk about a decade later, I suppose prices have gone up. You got a little bit of inflation. Steph says, I paid $65 for a haircut recently. It was $35 last year, same salon. Wow. That's crazy. Microwave a towel. Okay, Annie, you might have to do that. Yeah, the microwave, put the towel in there. Cause that hot towel was everything. All right. Not the oven. I wouldn't burn it up. Well, I guess it wouldn't burn up if it was wet like that though. But anyway. Yeah, exactly. Dynasty. Thumbs up for that hot towel. That's right on it. But let's keep rocking and rolling here. Let's talk about Californians potentially going back home. Have you guys heard about this? Now, this is something that they put out on TMZ. Now, you know, sometimes TMZ, they could put false stuff up there. I don't, you know, that's what they say. There was an interview with a real estate mogul, Kurt Rappaport, on TMZ, talking about, well, people are coming to me talking about that they regret their decision to move down south because of all the things going on, all kind of stuff. Let's go ahead and get into that right quick and see exactly what's happening. All right.
With all that's going on, with what happened in Tennessee yesterday, with what we've seen with the Don't Say Gay bill, with the drag shows, you know, ban, with what's going on with abortion in Texas, are these people who fled California having second thoughts?
So Harvey is maybe he's kind of poisoning the well. He's asking a loaded question, talking about, well, hey, because the guy's coming on there talking about people are going back to California. Now, here's a couple of things. The guy they're interviewing is a real estate, quote unquote, mogul, I think from California. So, of course, he's going to say, well, they're coming back to California. It's okay. It's beautiful weather and the Hollywood industry. He would say that because he has a vested interest in it. He's biased toward, say, California because he works there. That's where his market is. He wants them to come back home and buy a house again through him in this crazy market where you get rates going through the roof. But Harvey Levin from TMZ is asking a very loaded question. And why is that guy right there always like, I mean, is that his sidekick? Like, what is going on here? It's like Batman and Robin, but with no ability. You just kind of a tag along on a little sidecar on a motorcycle. But anyway, I digress. But the question is loaded, talking about, well, they're banning drag shows. First of all, they're not banning drag shows. They're just not allowing these biological, fully grown adult men to dance provocatively or in an adult manner in front of children. That shouldn't be a thing that's bad to say. You should not have that go on with men or women. A little child, a 5-year-old, should not be in a strip club with all women the same way they should not be in a library with some random Flame Monroe, whatever kind of weird name they want to have, dancing in front of them. Why would that be a reason to go back? But hey, you know what? If that is reason to go back to California, you should go back. If whatever he said right there is reason to go back, then go back. You know what? I was watching this a random YouTube video from a random YouTuber. Shout out to her. I can't remember her name, but the video was about her anecdotal story about California and Texas. She's from California and moved to Texas, and she was naming the pros and cons of living in both. And one thing she said was about the process to buy a gun. This is a black woman now. She was like, I like Texas because I'm able to defend myself in Texas. I can have the right to bear arms in Texas. I have a right to concealed carry. She said in California, there was a 1-year waiting list to interview with the sheriff to get your concealed carry license. Again, I'll say that one more time. There was a 1-year waiting period to interview with a sheriff to try and get your concealed carry. It's like, what? You got to interview with the sheriff, 1 year waiting period. Look, if you're being stalked, harassed, whatever it is, victimized, you are going to be out of luck. You pretty much got to leave this state to escape whatever you're going through. If you're in an apartment building or a house or whatever it is, you're a single woman by yourself, even if you're a man by yourself, whatever it is, and you got guys that are looking for you for whatever the reason may be, stalkers, and you need that concealed carry, you're going to be out of luck. 1 year to interview with the sheriff to try, and you might not get it. You might get denied for any reason. But anyway, I digress. Let's continue with the video.
I think a lot of them are. We've seen people even move to Texas, Florida, and other places. They left in a rush, and now they're regretting it and coming back. Initially, taxes are a big concern.
12.3%, 12.3% state income tax in California. Tennessee, zero state income tax in Tennessee and Florida and Texas. So of course, if you live in California, you're paying the high end 12.3 of state income tax. Yeah, you want to move to Texas or Tennessee to pay zero. I mean, why wouldn't you?
For many people, especially wealthier people who, move to states that have no state income tax or very little income tax, but the quality of life is everything. And I think some people have seen that. I've heard from many people who have moved, who are still there. God, I miss Los Angeles. I miss being in California. I miss the weather. I miss the lifestyle. I miss the culture.
Lifestyle, culture, weather. The main thing is the weather, because California, I suppose, has good weather for them out there. LA, good weather. It doesn't really rain too much. No snow or anything like that for the most part. But when you guys have weather out there, you have really severe weather events, wildfires, flooding that can't really be stopped. And when it floods, like downtown LA, your downtown is uninhabitable. If you're living in downtown LA, I'm not really sure how. Do you have a breathing device? You can just get through all the muck and the mire in the streets. How about them New York City rats in downtown LA that come out in full force when it rains? It's a mess. I mean, if it's not raining and you're up in the hills, it's beautiful. If you're down in the muck and the mire with the normies, it's ghetto. It's real ghetto. LA, I was not impressed. I hate LA and New York. If I lived in the outer areas, in the upper crust part, if I live with Kanye West or somebody like that in their house, I guess it'd be great. But if I'm living next to Rodney and Horrendo and all them people in the hood, it's gonna be bad, man. I was in LA, like Inglewood area, and it was ghetto. I was like, I'm not impressed. You hear all these stories about LA and Hollywood and whatnot. Nah, I was just kind of like, this is LA? This is what they're talking about? This is all the fuss? Ew.
And it's not that those are bad places, but they're just not Los Angeles. One of my favorite clients and smartest people I know said to me, isn't the point of having money living where you want, not living where, the tax is driving you? Then you throw in these other factors where you have all these, crazy exclusionary, bigoted, cultures that are more accepting. California is
so bigoted cultures. Basically, he wanted to say you backwoods rednecks. Basically he's talking about Californians with money going to a place like Tennessee and then interacting with the locals there that they don't like. It's the whole Peter Strzok. I could smell the Virginians and Trump supporters from DC. Remember that? It's the same thing they're talking about there. They act like they have such a good culture over there, but I saw a video, and I won't put it on the screen. There was a video of a woman who had been smoking crack all day in San Fran. She had a baby right on the sidewalk outside. A baby. Like, she was leaning on her side, and the baby just came out. I was like, what in the world? I've never seen a thing like that before in my life. I've never seen a woman just lay on the ground and have a baby on the streets. Hopefully the baby's okay, but that kind of thing goes on in California. Now, is that a better culture than what's going on down south? Is that somehow more intellectual? Is it better? I mean, come on. You guys are ridiculous that think that way. Not you guys that are watching, but guys like the one I just had on the screen, him and his rich colleagues or rich friends that have left California. And also, if it's so great in California, if it's so grand in California, you guys have good policies and you guys are doing so well, why are you leaving? If the weather is beautiful, you got Hollywood and the culture, why are you leaving? It must not be that good. And if you guys are the ones that are out there with the money and you're the movers and shakers, why can't you make that place better to live? You say it's paradise, basically. You're talking about your home like it's paradise. The weather, the culture. All right. Why are so many of your friends moving? They're coming back because what? Probably the weather, the main thing. You know, they're probably going down to Texas to get in that cedar fever, you know, or going to Georgia and it's 120 degrees. Not 120, but it's hot and humid in the summertime. And they don't want to deal with it. That rain that hits you in Florida at random parts of the day, they don't want to deal with it. The rain and the humidity, they don't want to deal with it. They rather would go back to the dry air and the potential wildfire in California, and that's fine. But just say that. Don't say, oh, we're so much better. I can't tell if you are. I cannot tell. All right. But let me see. But yeah, that whole thing with the with the baby was crazy. It was totally crazy. Now people are talking about the pole on the window. I've said before that I cannot do anything about that. It'll only go away once the poll is over with. So y'all gotta just wait a minute and then I'll get rid of it. So y'all just hang tight. Yeah, if I could have done that, I would have already done it. I'm ahead of you guys. So, but I appreciate that. Yeah, it'll be there for a while, or you can dismiss it on your own. But you're probably talking about this right here. Yeah, I can't do anything about that because the way it is, it's like on the back end with some code. Actually, I have that chat box there. It's actually a little bit of HTML involved, so that's not even really a thing I can do at the moment. Or I just do this and totally eliminate it. That's pretty much your options. But anyway, but do you guys think that Californians are leaving the states they have gone to? Your Tennessee, Texas, Florida, Arizona, Utah, Idaho, Wyoming. Are they leaving these new states and going back to Cali, or are they staying put? This guy's saying that people he knows are coming back to California because of things that are going on in these southern states, or they got mass shootings, or they got bad weather, whatever. But that's not really true. I don't think so. Not all the way. He may want that to be the case because, again, he's a real estate guy, and he wants him to come back to get his business back cracking the way it was before they all left during the scamdemic. But that's not really what's going on. I think I can look up some stats right now. Let me see. Here's a video.
700,000.
Here's a video right here. California Insider. 700,000 net loss. Hold on. Let me see if I can play it right quick. Give me a second. All right.
700,000 people left California in the last 2 years.
This is not a new phenomenon.
700,000 people left California in the last 2 years. This video is from what day? February 26, 2023. So a few weeks ago. 700,000 net loss. So some are coming to California and many are leaving. 700, and there's probably a lot more who actually left. The net loss, I guess, that'd be when you account for the newcomers, and people that are leaving. Probably been millions that have left. Some more that have come into the state, but there's still a big net loss for sure.
No longer the magnet we used to be.
Some of our viewers might think this is not a bad thing because there's a lot of traffic and the housing costs are really high here.
That's not the case, because you have to ask yourself, why are people moving out of the state? We interviewed corporate CEOs as to what's your future in California? And what we heard back was, we're thinking of leaving the state. We can't survive here.
My guest today is Dr. Jim Doty.
So yeah, there's a whole video right here. It's like a half hour. I'm gonna play the whole thing, but you guys get the picture. People are still leaving the state. Some guys may come back, but ultimately they're still leaving the state. All right, so let me go to the internet poll right here about tipping. It's been pretty much the same thing throughout since the poll first started. Let me see the results. So the poll question was, do you support tipping? 45% says yes, 43% says, 45% says sometimes. That's the biggest answer right there. 43% say yes, and 10% say no. Okay, so pretty interesting. Generally, you guys support tipping, but not all the time. Not to the point where it's excessive. I understand that. That makes total sense. It makes total sense to me. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. But to end the whole California thing, if people came from California and they left Tennessee because it's too conservative, too many guns, all right, it's like, look, you guys left your utopia, your liberal utopia. You left that and you want to come here because what we got going on. You came to Tennessee for a reason. You came to Florida for a reason. You came to Texas for a reason. You must like what we have going on. Now, if you cannot implement whatever you want to implement here and it's not going well for you, then first of all, why would you want to do that anyway? You came for what we had. We're not a California copy with better tax policy. We're not that. So go back over there. Go back that way. You know, it reminds me of when I was a kid in Virginia and everybody was from New York. I hated it so much. Like living in Portsmouth, this is like one of the poorest places, I guess you would say, in the area. Probably the poorest city in the little 7-city area, Portsmouth. And what had happened is a bunch of my classmates be from New York. Okay, the Brooklyn, Bronx, that was where they came from for the most part. Some Harlem guys later, once I got to high school, guys that had some money, but mostly like Brooklyn, that was the main spot they would come from, to Portsmouth. And Norfolk too. They be everywhere. And then they come through talking about, yo, I'm from New York, son. I'm from New York. Virginia sucks, man. It's too slow out here, son. I was like, man, look, if it's like that, then go back. How about that? If it's like that, then go back. Nah, man, you know, I came for a better life. Okay, cool. Then just say that. Just be a Virginian. Either you're going to be here with us or go back there. Same thing with the Californians. You come in here with, you know, all your ridiculous, soft, policies. You bring a drag queen, story time, all that kind of stuff. It's like, look, if you want to live in California, just say that and go back. Don't come here with that stuff. I hate that. I hate when people go to a place and try to recreate it. The old saying still goes, when in Rome, do as the Romans. Don't just try to impose your will and your culture and your values on a brand new place. Embrace their culture and values. And quite frankly, if you bring your culture and your values from the failed state, it's going to also be a failed state where you are. Because guess what? Wherever you go, there's always you. Wherever you go in this world, there is always you. You are still going to be there. So if you smoke crack in California, you probably do the same thing in Texas. If you smoked crack in California, you'll probably smoke crack in Texas. But I digress. We got more topics on deck for today. Where do I want to go? Oh, here's a good one. Your fake pastor, my man out of Memphis, Tennessee. And by the way, let's start from the beginning. So remember the insurrection that happened in Tennessee and also Kentucky at the state capitol about a few days ago, probably about 10 days ago or so. There was an insurrection, and as a result of the insurrection, you had 3 lawmakers put up for expulsion: Justin Jones, Justin Pearson, and Gloria Johnson. Now, 2 of the guys Both Justins got expelled. Gloria did not, by 1 vote. There was a whole big ruckus about that, talking about, oh, it's racism because you expelled the 2 black guys, not the white woman. And by the way, can we just bring up my man, Justin Jones from Nashville one more time, please? Because, I mean, I'm no genealogist here, okay? I'm not Skip Gates doing your blood work, but I know what a black person looks like. I am black. My whole family's black. I come from an all-black area. I did not live in a place that was less than 80% black until I got to be in high school, until I was like 14, okay? Even when I was in West Virginia at my grandma and them house, in the mostly 98% white state, even my little area was mostly black. So I know what black folks look like. This guy right here, that hair is a tad bit too curly and pretty to be on the head of a black person. He might be mixed biracial at best, Filipino, the Pharrell syndrome at best. But even Pharrell does not have this silky, wavy hair like this. Are you a Samoan, sir? Where are you from? Are you from Tuvalu, Kiribati, or somewhere in the Pacific Ocean? What's going on? Can you dive in the water and catch a whale with your bare hands? What's happening? Are you even black is the question. Anyway, they say that this guy, Justin Jones, and his house colleague, Justin Pearson, were expelled because they were black, but the white lady was spared because she's white. So there was an element of race there already. That guy and the other guy both been reinstated by the local city council. That guy's from Nashville. So his council in Nashville reinstated him to the state board after he was expelled. And Justin Pearson, the fake preacher guy, got his council board in Memphis to bring him back on board. So these guys are both back in the state house. Now, I'm not really sure how it's going to work. Are they officially back? Is it going to be a special election? Will they get replaced eventually? I have no idea. But that is information you need to have right now. Now, check it out. So Justin Pearson had this talk that kind of went viral. This speech that kind of went viral. And I saw through it right away. Because, again, I know black people. I'm from the community. Like, being in Virginia, it's like the slaves got brought right there first. Right there, right to Virginia. That's where it all started. Jamestown, 1619. I would go to Jamestown for field trips in grade school. Like kindergarten, we would go to Jamestown, right where they first brought the first slaves. They got the whole thing. They got the Jamestown reenactment. Hold on. Like, we are from right where the whole thing started. Wait a minute. So we went to the on a field trip, we would see stuff like this. Hold on. Like, that was our field trip right there. We see stuff like that as little kids. I mean, it's cool though, you know what I mean? They had good reenactors, but someone would be afraid, oh, this is traumatizing. No, it wasn't. It's just, you know, what was going on back then. We weren't out there picking no cotton or nothing crazy like that. We were just going like tourists basically and seeing what was going on. But anyway, Williamsburg, yeah, Jamestown, Williamsburg. Well, Williamsburg is right there, but really Jamestown was a settlement, but Williamsburg is the city that's right there. Jamestown is not really, that's not really a place. It's really just like Williamsburg. But anyway, Jamestown is right there on the water. Williamsburg is further inland. But anyway, I know what we sound like, how we look. I know about us as black people. So when I saw this guy speaking this way, I knew instantly it was fake. And the comments I was getting were crazy, talking about, oh, well, he speaks so well. He speaks so eloquently. It's like, look, this guy, I thought he was 29. He's 27 years old. He is a 1990s baby, a 1990s baby. I know what these guys sound like. Either you're going to have the flat, no accent, suburbanized type talk, or you're going to be like Moneybag Yo, Glorilla, a rapper that says stuff like music. You're going to talk like that. Either one, but this voice right here is unnatural. Check it out.
Yes, I tell you, it was a sad day on Saturday. All hope seemed to be lost. Representatives were thrown out of the state house. Democracy seemed to be at its end. Seemed like the NRA and gun lobbyists might win. But oh, that was good news for us. I don't know how long this Saturday in the state of Tennessee might last. But oh, we have good news, folks. We've got good news that Sunday always comes. Resurrection is a promise.
See, this right here, I knew it was fake from the jump, because it's like, yo, first of all, this is not 1965. We're not in civil rights era. We're not doing any of that right now. You're 20-something years old. You don't talk like this. Then somebody going to say, well, his speaking voice and his regular voice are going to be different. Not that much different. When MLK would talk normally, he would sound similar to his speaking voice. Okay, similar. He would use the same language, the same. You could tell that both were him. It was not like there were two different people. Malcolm X, same thing. When he would speak, he'd be more just basically louder with his voice, more projection in his voice, but it was still him. It was still his regular voice at the end of the day, just more. This right here is a reenactment of a guy from the 60s. But of course, white liberals, black liberals who don't know black folks eat it up. Oh, he speaks so well. Does he? Or did he go on YouTube and study a bunch of guys from the 1960s and emulate them? It's a difference. Now, you heard that right there, right? You see the afro and everything else. Let's just go down and see this here. So this is him recently with the dashiki on, talking about why he's wearing a dashiki. Let's check it out.
It's attire.
Wearing this dashiki on the first day and being sworn in wearing it is paying homage to the ancestors who made this opportunity possible.
It's attire.
Wearing this dashiki on the first day and being sworn in wearing it is paying homage to the ancestors who made this opportunity possible.
So does this guy right here sound like him at all? Again, your speaking voice may be like when you're speaking on stage, your speech voice could be different than your regular talking voice, but not that much different. Not to the point where it's night and day, to the point where it's two different people. Okay. And then there's one more video. This is from a while back. I think 2016 or 2018. This was a while back. I believe he was in college. Okay.
Hey, everybody.
And you notice, big smile, suburban guy. Okay. My mom's the teacher. My dad's a preacher. And I'm just trying to be a student president at this college or wherever I'm at. I got no afro. I'm Colin Kaepernick.
I'm Justin J. Pearson, and I'm running for president of BSG. There are a few reasons that we're running this campaign this year. One has to do with representation. How can we represent all voices in a conversation? I wanted to do this by partnering with organizations from the Bowdoin Democrats to the Bowdoin Republicans. I want to bring together different voices, dissenting voices, voices that may be more liberal or more conservative, in order that we can reach a point of sort of the radical middle, where conversation and dialogue happens and growth happens. Right now, we have tensions on our campus that can only be resolved by understanding one another. And creating those forums and those spaces will be a part of the legacy I hope to lead as the BSG president.
You get the idea, right? Now, right here, I hear regular suburban black guy or suburban guy in general. That's what I hear. I don't hear an 87-year-old black preacher in the South sweating and hollering and carrying on in the church service. I don't hear that. Okay, there's a difference between what he's doing right there. It just speaking normally and giving a speech, that voice is going to be different, but not night and day like this. Not to the point where you go from this guy, you go from this guy right here to that guy right there. So here's a question. What changed? What made him go from one extreme to the other? Was it college experience? Was it trying to be a lawmaker? Going on YouTube, looking at videos? What caused the change? There's a clear change. Again, it's Colin Kaepernick. It's the same thing. Colin Kaepernick, when he was in college, And when he got to the NFL, he was clean cut like this, spoke the same way, playing with his big turtle, hanging out, just minding his business, being an NFL quarterback. But as time progressed, he became more woke and more radical. Before you know it, he's got cornrows and big afros and blackity black, 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 all of that. That's what goes on. It's crazy. So that was Justin Pearson. I called it from the beginning. I know what I'm looking at when I see it. And the comments are talking about, oh, well, it's like going to church. Okay, here's a comment right here. I don't want to put her name out there. You guys might see it. Don't harass her. All right. This person is a news anchor. She says, I mean, I've been to many churches in recent years where people speak exactly this way. It's like, come on, man. Ain't nobody talking like that unless you are an 80-year-old man named Willie Earl or a deacon, an old school minister or whatever. They don't speak like that. Okay, it's so weird. It's so weird. But anyway, I digress. I mean, people just are ignorant and just don't know too much. But you guys are very smart. You know what's happening. All right, yeah, Kaepernick, the whole thing with him, his whole transformation, and I think people realize that you're able to kind of get money off of that. You're able to what y'all say it's a grift. It's a whole big thing. Hey, you know what? I can become woke. I can become a guy that is admired by the black community. Therefore, if I'm admired by the black community by being a liberal, I will also gain adoration from the white liberals and everybody else too. That's the whole game. That's the whole Black Lives Matter strategy. Hey, you know what? If I can champion the death of this black man and make it be a race thing and blame the police and blame the bad white folks, the good white folks and black folks and everybody else will come to my defense and give me a bunch of money to the tune of 80 something billion dollars. You know what? I can get a whole real estate portfolio. I can retire off of white guilt, black guilt, and all the other colors guilt because of this dead black man. But guess what? If that black man was alive, I would not spit on him to put out a fire because I don't really care. Hey, the best black man to them is somebody that's not living anymore. That's not me saying it. That's them saying it over on BLM. Okay, if you are a black man trying to do something positive, trying to do something right, then they totally ignore you. Totally ignore you. But if you dead and they can make money on it, then hey man, you're welcome. We'll open arms. We'll give you a golden casket and a funeral fit for a king. But if you live in, man, get out my face. Creep, harasser, I'm calling the police. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. I don't know all these questions. Somebody said, why did JLP fire Hassan? I don't know nothing about that. Maybe you guys know in the chat. I have no idea. All right. So let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Yeah, I engage all the time on Twitter. I engage all the NPCs on Twitter. You know, I do. Sometimes I try to not do that, but generally, you know, I will sometimes, for sure. Speaking about Twitter, there's more that I wanted to show. Oh, speaking about Twitter, let's talk about Elon Musk. So, now not Elon yet. I'm going to save that because I got a video coming for that. Basically, Elon Musk had an interview with BBC News, and it was pretty interesting. I got a video about that. One thing about, matter of fact, I'm going to show some of that. Let's go ahead and do some. I'm right here talking about it. All right, I brought it up. Let's go ahead and show some of that. Let me see if I can find the clip right quick. But the video was pretty interesting. They were talking about Twitter policies and whatnot.
Free speech is...
Now, of course, the guy is going to talk about how Twitter has gone a different direction. There's not much content moderation. I'm going to talk about one particular piece of this just to address it. And then I got a whole video coming out where I react to this whole clip. There's a much longer interview. I'm going to get to one piece of it right here and talk about that.
Why? Because I don't actually use that feature.
Well, then how did you see the hateful content? For example,
of hateful content.
Many organizations that say dialogue, as I've already said, I don't use that.
That's absurd.
I haven't,
Wow.
COVID misinformation.
Oh, here we go. So for a while before this, I was skipping ahead. They were talking about hateful content on Twitter. And Elon was like, yo, give me an example. I'll cover that a little bit later for time's sake. Let's skip ahead here. You're talking about policy and about C-19. Let's listen to this.
Time.
Wow.
COVID misinformation. You changed
Amazing.
You changed the COVID misinformation
Has
rules.
BBC changed its COVID misinformation?
The BBC does not set the rules on Twitter, so I'm asking you.
No, I'm talking about the BBC's misinformation about COVID.
So you see what's going on here, right? So the reporter is asking him, hey, you guys have changed your C-19 misinformation policy. And I guess he's trying to ask him why, or if he's trying to, I'm not sure what the intent of the question is. But Elon's like, hey, so if you guys have done the same thing. So basically, if y'all can do it, why can't I do it? Why ask me about that and not yourselves? Do a piece on yourselves and why you got to change the C-19 policy. Things have changed. You know, it's funny because a lot of the same people who are asking these questions would say believe the science, trust the science a few years ago. But science is a never-ending study. It always changes. So, of course, things are going to change. That's science. It's weird how they wanted to make you believe one thing that can never change, which was anti-science. And now that we're actually following science, meaning things change, they want to get all up in arms about that. It's like, how about we just stick to the truth and let that be the way we go forward rather than just worrying about narratives. But let's see his answer to the whole question about, do you guys change your C-19 policy?
I'm literally asking you about, you changed the labels, the COVID misinformation labels. There used to be a policy, and then it disappeared. Why do that?
Well, COVID is no longer an issue. Does the BBC hold itself at all responsible for misinformation regarding masking and side effects of vaccinations, and not reporting on that at all?
There we go. Got him. Quiet as a church mouse. Quiet as a church mouse. Because remember, the whole C-19 thing was ridiculous. People were getting flagged. Like, I had a video, pardon me, I had an article on my website go viral. It went so viral, my host called me. It was a whole big thing. It was a meeting. My host called a meeting with me, my website host. It was like 8 people on the call. It was a big meeting. And they were trying to get me on a really high tier plan because my website not only crashed, but it crashed the entire shared server. It was crazy. I got labeled all types of misinformation, hate speech, all of that. And the article was about the frontline doctors. Remember Stella Emanuel talking about ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine and stuff like that. This was right when that stuff first was going on. They were calling it horse paste. It's untested. It's unproven. Although these things have been around for a very long time. Nobel Peace Prize winning, proven to be safe, proven to be effective versus this brand new quote unquote vaccine that was untested, unsafe. No long-term side effects were known about it because it was brand new on the market for the very first time. You were going to be a guinea pig. You take that vaccine rather than these things that have been around since World War II, very long time. You know what I'm saying? So that was right when that whole thing happened. It was misinformation, all kind of stuff. But now we know that ivermectin worked, HCQ worked, and we know that the vaccine has side effects. The same thing we said back then was misinformation. And now we know it's not. And the same thing with Hunter Biden and the whole laptop kerfuffle. What they say back then, misinformation, Russian misinformation. All the intelligence officers, 52 of them, said it's misinformation. And now we know that it was, in fact, Hunter on the laptop, smoking crack, 10 for the big guy, all that good stuff. So what are we talking about? And as far as C-19, we know that a lot of what they said about that, stay inside, quarantine, wear 18 masks, was bogus.
And what about the fact that the BBC was put under pressure by the British government to change its editorial policy? Are you aware of that?
I'm going to get into that in the video, but that's a good little preview right there. There's a full interview where there's a lot more than that clip, and that's about a 5 to 6 minute clip, but there's a lot more than that, I suppose, from the actual interview on BBC. And I'll probably link to that in the article of the video description. And I'll link to it in the video description on an article on my website. Put it to you that way. All right. But yeah, there's a whole lot there. BBC, a lot of these platforms, I mean, told you the worst thing to do with these masks. I'm not sure if that was a New York Times. I don't know what that was. Hopefully, you know what? This is why censoring things can be bad unless it's like straight illegal. I'm talking about if you see if you have a thing like that on your phone, you go to jail, and nobody gonna say, "Oh man, that's too bad. You shouldn't have been locked up for that." There are some things that should be censored, and we all know what they are. I don't got to get too graphic, but some things should not be deleted. Like when they put out misinformation for real, talking about, wear 3 masks, that'll work. When you put that out there, I want that news story to stay up, and I want it to be on video. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find it right quick. Hold on. Wait. Let me see. Now, this is from, when is this from? 2 years ago. This is 2021. Michael knows. They got a clip. Wait a minute. All right, Shep, here goes Shep Smith. Watch this.
Since the start of the pandemic, experts have urged us to do 3 things. Wash our hands, maintain social distance, and wear a mask all the time. Not when you feel like it, all the time, when you're not eating and drinking. But now the experts say with these variants, it's time to double up and wear 2. This morning, Dr. Fauci endorsed the idea on the Today Show.
Endorsed.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so that was that. And then I think there was more. Hold on. We got video. Wait a minute. Watch this.
Experts say you can double up with a tight weave fabric mask for added protection. Now, Virginia Tech researchers found that doubling up these cloth masks increases the efficacy from 50 to 75%.
I mean,
a 3-layer mask could block up to 90% of the particles. And if you're layering your mask, the disposable surgical mask goes on first, and then the tight-fitting fabric mask goes right over the top.
And then...
Wait a minute. Wait. You see the mask? Hold on. Am I tripping, or is that like dirt? Is that like schmutz on the mask? Ew. You are trying to demonstrate how safe these masks are. You have schmutz on your mask right there on television. And at a certain point, it's like, you know what? I'm hearing you're muffling. Can you even breathe? You know what would be 100% effective? A plastic bag tied around your head. Now, you can't get no oxygen, but you can prevent your particles from getting in or out. Now, can you live long enough? I don't know, man. We're going to figure that out. We shall figure that out. All right. But this right here, I mean, come on. All right. Triple masking, they literally put that on TV. They literally put that out there. It was a study. Look, wait a minute. Hold on. Source. They got a source. Look at this. January 15, 2021, study by Monica Gandhi, Lindsay Marr. They really did a study about this and put it on TV. And what they come out and say now, that the masks did nothing. So you suffocating yourself for no reason. Ridiculous. So again, they put out certain things they said were correct, not misinformation. And we now know that it wasn't. It's good to have both opinions out there. Have that opinion out there that says wear triple masks to the point where you can't breathe, right? Passing out with lack of oxygen. Why'd he pass out? He couldn't breathe in the mask, man. Have that information out there, but also have information out there that says, maybe you don't want to wear a mask. Maybe the mask ain't going to work. Have both out there, and then we'll see which one makes the most sense. All right? But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. Yeah, people still wearing double masks. It's like, why? For what reason? What are we even doing? C-19 is gone. It's not there anymore. It's a wrap. Does anybody even get that anymore? I feel like it was a fad that went away. I don't hear about that any longer. I'm hearing about eggs being too expensive. I don't hear about C-19 any longer. All right. So we got some more stuff on deck that I'm gonna get to. Let's see. Oh, Dalai Lama. I don't even really want to address that because it's too graphic. But Dalai Lama, y'all know what he did. Kissing a little boy in the mouth, telling him to do all kind of different stuff. And the Dalai Lama and the boy were like right in front of an audience. There were handlers behind the Dalai Lama around him, and there was a full audience of people. I don't know where he was at, some kind of event with a lot of people there. He was abusing a little boy on camera. And most of you guys understood what was happening. Like, this is not a thing you should be doing. But I was seeing some comments talking about, hey, man, it's their culture. You can't judge. It's like, well, what kind of culture says abuse boys? Like, since when was it ever okay to abuse children? Like, I don't understand what kind of culture does that. What kind of excuse is there to abuse a child? I don't care what culture you are, what language you speak. There are some things that are universal. Okay? Laughter is universal. Sadness can be universal. When you're talking about the expression of someone's face, crying and stuff like that. Abusing children is universal. It's wrong, regardless, period, point blank. I don't care what culture they come from. Okay? And Dalai Lama is not a guy that just lives in obscurity. This guy was linked to the sex cult in New York, if I'm not mistaken, the NVXM, whatever that was. A lot of these people, Lady Gaga, this guy's been around. This guy has been around. It was crazy. Like, the people that were defending the guy, that really got me. But like I said, this kind of thing always happens. We're talking about religions that push or require celibacy. Now, I'm not saying that celibacy is what causes the boys to be abused necessarily, but what happens is you're going to attract those kind of guys. When you say no women, no wives or nothing like that, no families, you're going to attract guys that want to abuse boys and girls, but usually young boys. That's what happens. Afghanistan is like that. They got the dancing boys over there. You can't have girls. You can't have women or girls exposed this way, but you can't have women dancing around like this. It's haram. But we can have little boys do the dancing around and they can abuse them. They were told to look the other way in Afghanistan when soldiers would see these Afghan men with young boys. Look the other way. Don't even worry about it. You can't have women over here. This haram. You can't have her in a certain kind of way undressed, but that boy can be dancing for you. Same thing with the monks, the Tibetan monks, which is where Dalai Lama comes from. Dalai Lama, that's a Tibetan leader who's been in India since the 1950s. But anyway, the monks, what they call that monk mode, where you have no women, nothing like that. You just kind of center on yourself. You go to this temple. It's a bunch of young men in there, war age, family age. And then you bring in the young boys that are taken in from the streets into the temple. What's going to happen? The boys are going to get abused. It's like being in prison. Is it right? No, it's not, but it's going to happen. And then, of course, a Catholic priest. That's been an ongoing thing. There was a scandal in Maryland where they just caught hundreds of, I'm not sure about hundreds of clergy, but they caught clergy abusing hundreds of children, probably mostly boys. Same pattern over and over again, which is why the Pope is like, hey, you know what? We might want to just allow these priests to have families because we're attracting these guys that are going to abuse the children. It's the same pattern everywhere. You see it all over the place. It's crazy. It's totally crazy. But I'm gonna digress away from that topic. I was getting really triggered. Speaking about that, I was getting triggered. Let's move right forward. Now the federales. Speaking about crime and whatnot, the federales are listening to what you're saying. They are listening. Now, a lot of you guys know about the feds listening to certain terms you're using. Let me go ahead and look at this article right quick. Check it out. FBI documents associate internet slang like based and red pill with extremism. Now, a lot of us that are behind the scenes, we know this. I'm going to link this to Nick Fuentes and Just Pearly Things in a minute. You understand what I'm talking about. But a lot of us that create content all the time, we're always in this space. We know that this has already been going on. Red pill especially, this is why guys don't really say red pill. If they are a content creator focused on this kind of content, they don't say that word. They don't put that word in their titles. They don't say that word. They'll say RP or something else to describe this kind of content because they know the federalists are listening. If you put RP in your title, you might get a little flag. You might get demonetized on that video, and you might get your whole channel flagged for demonetization. If they think you are like a men's rights activist, or you're talking about male issues, you're talking about modern women not being right, they're going to link you into the incel category, and they think that incels, involuntarily celibate, they think these guys are dangerous. They've linked them to certain mass shootings. So if you are falling into that category, you are put on the list and you don't even know it. Now, here is why Just Pearly Things was dumb to bring on Nick Fuentes. Well, you know what? I don't even want to say dumb. I want to say ignorant, willfully ignorant, because we warned her about that, but she's willfully ignorant. She asked a question before she interviewed that guy. Hey, why do you conservatives not want to interview him? Are you afraid? It's like, no, we're not afraid, but there's no upside because all he's going to do is cause your channel to get nuked. Now, her channel on YouTube is still there, but her IG and TikTok both got nuked. And she's wondering why. Hey, what did I do? I didn't do anything. You don't understand. We told you this was going to happen. We told you this. Hold on. We told you this would happen because when you are linking yourself to a guy like him and you have a channel that's talking about male issues, see, now what they're going to look at you as is an incubator for incels. They're going to see you as an incel hub, a place where you can have incels become radicalized. So all it's going to take is one mass shooting and they put your name in the manifesto, it's over with. You might go to jail behind that. You know how you can get locked up for anything. Not even your fault. You got political prisoners here in the U.S. So here's what she said, right? How did they just ban me on Instagram again? I didn't even post anything. You don't understand what's going on here. We do. We know what's happening. So we told you not to do it. And people talk about me, oh, you were a coward. It's like, you got to think logically, critically. If you are a men's rights channel, a men's activist, and you bring on a guy who is linked to that kind of stuff, but also racism, white supremacy, and being an incel and having a group of guys that follow him to also identify like that, you're seen as you're seen as politically dangerous. It's not even about your opinion being wrong or offensive. It's about you being politically dangerous. So if you bring him on there, what's the upside? What's the benefit? All you're going to do is get your channel nuked, get put on a no-fly list. Why? What did you accomplish? What's the purpose? What was the upside? I don't understand. If you want to bring guys like that on, have your own platform, you're going to be on YouTube doing that, and you're bugging. But anyway, let's go to the actual list of terms. So they say those terms I mentioned, based, red pill, there's more we're going to get to. They're going to flag you if you use these terms, and they say you have an indication of involuntary celibate violent extremism or racially or ethnically motivated violent extremism. You see what I'm saying? I knew this already. A lot of you guys didn't, but I knew it already. All right. So this was uncovered by the Heritage Foundation submitting the FOIA request. and they were able to discover documents from the federal rally. This is not me just making it up. I'm not just talking. This is documented by the FBI. They are watching you when you talk like this. So here's what it says. Part of the document refers specifically to incels or those involuntarily celibate whom the threat overview describes as possibly seeking to commit violence in support of their beliefs that society unjustly denies them sexual or romantic attention to which they believe they are entitled. You see what I'm saying? We're talking about something bigger. You're talking about the feds involved. You talk like all she wanted was to get views on her channel. We're trying to tell her you don't understand the politics behind this. This ain't just trying to get views. Like, you don't really get it. This is deeper than that. So let's get more into the actual the terms, shall we? So there's other things here, not just based or red pill. They talk about LARPing as well. That's also an indicator of extremism. Chad, that's another one. They say the term Chad is a race-specific term used to describe the idealized version of a male who is very successful at getting sexual and romantic attention from women, later noting incels unsuccessfully compete against Chads for attention. That's accurate except for the racial part, but that could be there. That could be there depending upon where you are on the internet. That could be a racial component there. But they're talking about Chad as being somehow dangerous. This is why a lot of the male spaces, a lot of the men's rights spaces get flagged because they use this kind of language. And you might be able to avoid that kind of language, but if you get into that kind of talk, they're going to flag you for that kind of stuff, and they're going to monitor you to see if you're going to get too far off the reservation and suggest anything that could be too dangerous. It's simple. Here's another one. It also includes the term looks maxing. I've not heard that one. Looks maxing is defined in the document as a process of self-improvement with the intent to become more attractive. Okay, that makes sense. Here's another one. There are many terms associated with self-pity rather than violence, such as saying it's over, like being black-pilled or a doomer, height cell, bald cell. Obviously, if you're short or you bald, there's all kind of stuff they have in here. All right. Oh, wow. Fox is on it. I'm surprised. Look at this. See, I knew this about Lil B, the rapper. Here's a little piece right here. Base is defined by the FBI as a word used to refer to someone who has been converted to racist ideology or as a way of indicating ideological agreement, which is kind of extreme, but that could be correct depending upon the circumstance. In regular parlance, based is a context-specific word coined by rapper Lil B. That's correct. That can mean, as Know Your Meme describes, anything ranging from something that is agreeable and cool to something that is considered anti-woke. Correct. That's right. Fox is on it. So if Fox knows that, the FBI knows that as well, but they also know more than what we know, or they think they do. It also includes the term LARPing. We know what LARPing is, live action role playing. If you're pretending to be a thing that you're not, that's what that means to many of us. But they say it's like you're not extreme enough. That's pretty much what that is. So, I mean, that's what's going on with the FBI. If you are on these particular platforms and they speak like that, be careful because they're watching. So you say certain things, you might get put on a list. You don't even know it. You know, a lot of your police work nowadays is done on the internets, but somehow it's weird because the feds and the police know a lot, but they don't always act. An example, there was a mass shooting. What was that in Kentucky, in Louisville, Kentucky recently? His parents called the police on him before the shooting happened. Let me see if I can find that right quick. His parents called the police, literally. Let me see. Louisville shooter. Parents called police. Let's see if I can find that right quick. Well, okay, it was before. It was moments before the shooting. It wasn't like a long time before. So Connor Sturgeon's mother called dispatchers to report her son moments before the mass shooting. So it wasn't like a long time before, but she did call the police. But sometimes the police and the feds and whatnot will be aware of the person. They'll be aware of any kind of potential terroristic type ideology, but they don't do anything to stop it. I mean, what can you do really in that situation? I'm not really sure. Yeah, I'm not really kind of sure what you could do about that, but it is what it is. One thing I do know is that they are watching and they are putting you on the list. If they can use a red flag law against you, whatever they want, no fly list, they will do it. I mean, we saw it happen to Kanye West, freezing the accounts and stuff like that. They'll do it. What did Kanye do that was that bad to get his account frozen? Did he attack anybody? Did he hurt anybody? They can get you. So just be aware of what you're talking about. Be aware of your surroundings and be aware of all the things that are going on. And to wrap that point up, the whole Judge Purley things and everything else, if you're going to do a thing, first of all, think about it first. Think hard about it. Like, okay, should I do this? Is it a good idea? What's going on? And then think about the benefit. Is it going to be a benefit? In your thought process, think about what the benefit is going to be. If there's no benefit, you're just doing this because it's like, okay, well, what's the purpose of doing that? It doesn't make much sense. So it is what it is. But I think, did I have more that I wanted to discuss right quick? I think I might have some more. Or, yeah, I might have got to everything. I talked about Dalai Lama, Californians. Yeah, that's pretty much everything right there. We got super chats on deck, and then I'm going to get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. I'll get to those calls in a moment. Super chats on deck first. Let's get through these. Think of the Dutch Schaefer who says from 2000 to 2016, white supremacists are responsible for 46 homicides. It took them over 15 years to amount to an average weekend in Chicago. Yeah, this is the country's greatest threat. Exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And it's weird because the federalists focused on that. The news media is focused on that. And I think ultimately what's going to happen is, or I think their plan is to use that very small threat to justify banning guns from being sold. And they may effectively reduce some mass shootings, not all, of course, and definitely not. They definitely won't reduce the regular street mass shootings, because we hear about mass shootings when they happen in a place like a bank or a school. We don't hear about a mass shooting in the hood where you might have 6 guys that get shot at one time and nobody really, it's not even really a big deal. Okay, it'd be a birthday party outside. Somebody starts shooting. 6 guys get hit. 2 guys die. Not really a big deal. Not consider a mass shooting. But then you go to a bank and the same number of people die. The same number gets shot. All of a sudden, it's like a tragedy. It's a crisis. It's weird how that works. But anyway, so they're going to use the very small number of these incidents to try and ban all guns. So then the regular normie who may have a gun to defend themselves and use it effectively cannot do that anymore, therefore leaving him vulnerable to the criminals who have guns. We saw the video from Atlanta where I showed you guys the 17-year-old gang member had a stolen weapon, a stolen Glock handgun with a switch on the back. That's Fed time right there. How are you going to be able to prevent that guy from getting this gun? It was stolen and it had a switch on it. What gun law would have stopped that? The gun was stolen. That's illegal right there. The switch is also illegal. You cannot have the switch at all, whether you are of age, not of age, illegal, or legal. License to carry, you cannot have that switch at all. Now you're dealing with Fed time. So if that kid was able to go out there with that gun, not really caring about the consequences, why would you say it's okay to disarm yourself as a law-abiding citizen? Why would you disarm yourself? I'm not going to do it. It's crazy. And then they're talking about you can't have a short barrel rifle. You got to contact the federales and all this and that and the third. It's a mess. It's a total mess. All right. Thank you to, I can't pronounce your name. El Godot, I don't know what that says. Thank you for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to Dutch Schaefer again, who says, I bet Biden was jealous over the Dalai Lama. Yeah, it probably was. Thank you to Dave Murphy, who says, I've been saying for years people need to go back to California and fix their own state and leave our states alone. I'm with you, man. Go ahead and go back there. Go ahead and go back, fix that state, leave us alone. Especially if you're here with the wrong intentions, trying to change our state into what you want it to be. Yeah, you got to go back over there. Thank you to Pam, who says, love your content. Thank you for that. Appreciate you. Thank you to Not a Band Account, who says, this proves Dalai Lama should turn to Christ. Thank you to Hey You, who says, make it tips as a server and bartender, make it fun. When the place has hopping during the rush and everyone's making money, it's a good time. Exactly. Hey You says, stop it. $20 haircut at Great Clips. I tip $10 on that. I get my hair cut less than once a month. They deserve it, and I can afford it. Yeah, I'm with you, man. You know, back when I was getting my hair cut, it'd be every week sometimes, or at least every 2 weeks. Back when I was a youngin', and you had guys getting edge ups and stuff like that, short hair, bald Caesar, not bald Caesar, but low Caesar with an edge up. That's every week sometimes. If you are a baller, you were getting haircuts weekly. But to just maintain a decent look every 2 weeks, for sure. Once a month, I could never. I'd be crackhead after a 3-week period. Thank you to Dutch Schaefer, who says $80 here in Franklin, Tennessee, haircut, Parker House. All right, fancy $80 for a haircut. Good grief. I mean, what are you getting? Are you getting like some kind of fancy Hollywood type hairstyle? Like, are you getting, hold on. Let me see if I can find something here. I'm gonna see if I can find what I'm looking for. Y'all know what I'm talking about too. Like one of these hairstyles that, yeah, hold on. Matter of fact, this might be it. I want to get a better, a clear picture, because you guys, it depends on if you, on your hair texture, because I cannot get this kind of hairstyle for me. It ain't really going to work too well. All right. Cause I don't know what kind of goes into it. Now, if you have that kind of hairstyle, I suppose you can't just go to the barber and be like, yeah, man, even all around. You know, you got to do a little bit of extra with that. You got to go to a salon for that, I suppose. You got to sit in a chair and have Miss Helga do your hair. You know what I'm saying? There might have to be some salon action. But back in my day, I was getting this hairstyle. Hold on. I was getting a hairstyle like this. Matter of fact, I was getting this exact hairstyle. Okay. So it's a little bit easier for that hairstyle than that one. It's simple. You just cut it down, fade up the sides. Maybe you got a little facial hair or something like that. Take care of that. Put a line on it, and there you go. See you later. $20. This right here, you probably got to get little rods in your hair. You probably got to get dye and color and all type of stuff. Okay. And the little side chops and all of that. It's a whole different kind of situation. It's a little bit different. So I'm not sure what the money, what the $80 would be for. All right. So yeah, that right there, I could never. My hair would not do that. I put a wig on, maybe that'd be pretty much it. Thank you to You Can't Fool Me, who says they only left California to manipulate the elections. Yeah, I believe it. Thank you to Michael Critchlow, who says, did you see Rivers Casino in Portsmouth had its first robbery attempt back in February? I'm sure this won't be the last. Should have opened in Virginia Beach. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Like right when they opened it, I was like, the security got to be tight. If security is tight, if the security is tight, it'd be straight. But I know Portsmouth, I know Virginia, I know how guys are. If you got bad security, it's gonna be all bad. At a casino in the hood like that in Portsmouth, security got to be A1. You got to have police out there, not just top flight security, not just your cousin and them with security shirts on and high-vis vests. That will not get it done. You need to have armed police with the cars out there in Portsmouth all night. Thank you to F Ranger Xbox, who says, can't emergency authorization if treatment's available. Thank you to 66 for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to Nick Corio, who says, hello, my dear friend, with the deer emoji. AR or AK. AR all day long. AK, it's just a showpiece for me personally. Thank you to Leo Mazzina, who says, remember Operation Fast and Furious for sure. And that'll be it for the super chats. Let's get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling. There's also a Skype email to get on that way. If it doesn't work right, don't blame me. Blame the white man. Y'all know how it goes. But let's get on into it. Hopefully it's going to work. I had a computer update today, and my camera was off. It wasn't really working properly. So let's see if it's going to get back rolling. 8-Bit Oni says, I left LA, and you can't pay me to go back. I don't blame you, man. You got to go. You got to go. 470, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Anthony.
What's happening?
I'm calling from Atlanta. Wild and wacky Atlanta. How you doing, sir?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
I got to turn off the silence here so I can hear you better. That's the sound of World War I.
I see.
Yeah, so, a lot going on here in Atlanta. A lady was attacked in broad daylight back on Thursday, March 30th. Man tried to rape her. She managed to persuade the guy to stop attacking her, and he made her promise that she wouldn't call the police. Then she turned around and called the police.
Of course, right?
That's what you do in a situation like that. But this is broad daylight. She was walking to work. 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. These criminals are getting more bold by the day, I'm telling you.
It's crazy. It's like, sir, you're out here. People can see you. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, but the sad thing is that, if this lady worked where I work, they'd be like, oh, and if she actually did get raped, they'd be like, well, I'm sorry you got raped, but can you come into work? We're a little short-staffed today.
Wow, that's crazy.
The owner put a freezing on hiring back in the beginning of January. He's really cheap, so we're real short-staffed. So anyway, yeah, man, this whole tipping thing is getting out of control. I noticed this back around 2018, and nowadays they want you to tip at fast food restaurants. I'm like, are you crazy?
Yeah, that's
wild.
wild.
What am I tipping you for? I'm a cashier at my job, and sometimes I go on register, or at least I used to a long time ago. And, what am I supposed to get tips from customers just for ringing them up? It's not like a waiter or waitress, where you actually go to somebody's table, bring the food to them, and serve them, So the way to get around that is just pay cash, and just tip the waiters and waitresses. That's what I do.
Exactly.
I don't tip fast food workers. So, but anyway, not too much to say tonight. It's pretty peaceful here in Atlanta, and I haven't gotten shot, so it's a pretty good day.
Right on point.
All right, man. You take care, and I'll talk to you next Wednesday.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Thanks. See you. Bye.
All right, great call. Thank you for being here. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling here. 859, your line. Am I speaking to?
Hey, how's it going, ABL? Happy to hear from you, bud.
It's all good, man. What's going on?
I'm all right. Just got off of work, eating some Chinese food, man, and I was watching your show, wanted to call in. I called up before a few times, and I this is the one thing you made a video on this about the whole Bud Light situation with the whole conflict with that whole situation, how Kid Rock, shot a bunch of cans, which I thought was pretty cool,
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
But this is the one thing is like, distilling a veiny person. I'm bisexual. I know plenty of people in the LGBT community. You know what I'm saying? But this person is a complete embarrassment to that community. And I try to ask these people, some of my friends who are gay, lesbian, bi, trans, or something, I said, do you think this person is a good representation of the LGBT community? They couldn't give me a straight answer after I said that to them. And it's like this guy, this person is literally a troll. I can't take this person seriously. Of all the people you can put on a can, why you can't put like somebody like, I don't know, Elton John or Freddie Mercury, or somebody who has a class, who has a history of music or history of acting that would have been a better representation on a beer can. I'm just saying.
Well, they won't do that because they won't do that because they're just trying to get. They don't really care about class or anything like that. They're just trying to get eyeballs on the product, so they don't really care. And then they're trying to appease the LGBTs.
It's a failure. It is a complete failure. I mean, to me, Bud Light tastes like piss water, but having somebody who sponsors it who is like piss water, it wouldn't. I'm just saying, it's a bad representation. It doesn't look good. The rainbow flags, I don't give a crap about. I think every company has done that. And to me, I think now it's becoming more of a political statement instead of just saying representative, hey, your sexuality. It's the opposite now. It's now a political, now more of a political thing, and it's just gross. It's becoming too politicized.
Right on.
And to be honest with you, do you drink?
Nah.
That's good, man. To be honest with you, I kind of like apple cider, Jim Beam, more of that kind of speed and stuff like that. Right. I'm happy to see the show. I'm about to enjoy the rest of the Chinese food, man. Happy to hear from you, bro. See ya.
Thanks for the call, man.
Much
Appreciate
love, bro. Nope, much love, man. Much love.
All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, people not going to really speak out against Dylan Mulvaney that are in the LGBT community because they don't want to be accused of going against their own. That's that whole thing. That's that kind of loyalty, that inner community loyalty. That's all. And I think the brands understand that. 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, how you doing? It's F&A Ranger Xbox, buddy.
All right, man. What's happening?
I figured out a few things, ABL. I ask questions, okay? Like, my first question, what exactly are gay rights? Are they the same as all the other rights, or do they take it into keister all the time?
Well, I think what they want to do is, I think they want to do whatever they want to do. That's what gay rights are. So whatever, they say they want to steal from a bank, rob a bank, broad daylight without getting in trouble. That's gay rights.
Right. Anything they want. It's like what are trans rights? We demand the right to sexualize and molest children. We demand the right to beat up women and take their accolades and awards. And we demand the right to pee while sitting down.
There you go. Exactly.
Oh, God. But you were right on hit the nail right on the head with that article that shut your server down. I remember when Trump brought out those doctors, and that one black woman from West Africa, she used hydroxychloroquine to treat COVID successfully. And the mainstream media just tore those doctors up. But the reason why they did that is because the World Economic Forum said that they have to discredit ivermectin, which was developed in 1970, Nobel Peace Prize for humans. It just so happens that horses happen to be mammals in the same family of animals that we are. And it's also effective with treatment of parasites. But here's the deal on that, ABL. There are horses that are worth millions of dollars. And there are people that aren't worth a pile of fecal matter, brother. And all the reason why they did that was so they could push through that emergency authorization. And the big thing is, it was against federal aviation regulations to require pilots to get an experimental drug. The drug has to be approved and in popular circulation and low reactions for over a year before pilots are even allowed to take it. And they injected. You heard the World Economic Forum. If you're vaxxed, you're not going to be flying our private jets to Davos. And I'll leave you with that, brother. But you were dead right on that article that shut down your server there for a while. You take care. God bless America. God bless ABL. Great show.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
You too.
All right, shout out to man for the call. Great call. Yeah, man, that article was crazy, but you got to put the real information out there. You got to put it out there. 208, you're the line I'm speaking to.
Yes, Mr. Logan. My name is Haru. I'm a first-time caller, long-time listener, man. So your first caller, I think it was your first caller, you're talking about the tip cultures.
Yeah.
I'm actually a cashier in Idaho out of Maverick, where we do lottery, and that's where I get most of my tips. And also, the tipping your cashier does go along with it, helping get to that counter faster and everything.
So, okay, wait a minute. So you work at like a convenience store or something like that? Like, I don't understand.
Yes, sir. It's a gas station. It's called Maverick. I don't know if they have them out there on the East Coast or not, but it's a gas station. We sell lottery at it and gas and convenience stuff.
So they can tip you at the actual register?
Yes, sir.
So how does it help them get to the register faster? Like, can they skip the line?
No, it helps me. Like, if I see somebody, especially a regular, I know, hey, that guy's probably gonna give me an extra buck. Let's get out there. He did it last time. Let's go over there quicker.
Okay, yeah.
That's my exact process.
You know what? I'm thinking about that too, because if I can tip people in certain circumstances, like when they see me all the time, that they're gonna remember that. So I'm thinking about that when I'm doing it. So that makes sense.
You know what TIP stands for, right? It's actually an initialism. It stands for to ensure prompt service.
Okay. There it is.
Well, I'm going to get back to enjoying your show, sir. You keep it up. You're doing awesome. I love you.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I never heard that before. You can get tips you can tip a cashier at the cash, like in a gas station. I've never heard it before in my life. That's something new. How do y'all guys feel about that? Should that be a thing? Hey, man, it's a different kind of world. 504 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. It's Alien Spaceship.
All right, man. What's happening?
All right. So, recently with the silver I was talking about before, they had one of the silver stores online have a limited order, so people have to pay a certain amount of money to get silver at all. So the silver shortage is definitely happening.
Okay.
Right. And also, I want to say that I have an update about Georgia Peach. She was telling me, her mom is very sick, and shout out to her mom and Georgia Peach. And also, it definitely, as I said, has to do with the vax, and it's making, her mom very ill, and the doctors have confirmed this.
Yeah, that's happening quite a bit with the vax, unfortunately.
Right. And I do want to, I know I've said this before, but I just want to emphasize and make it clear, how terrible this thing is and how, we, keep going and keep exposing what's going on, and along with the other stuff, the other topics we're talking about as well. And also, I want to know, in West Virginia, I think, do you remember a TV show called Mr. Cartoon?
I've heard that before, but I don't really remember it.
All right. Georgia Peach was on it one time.
Okay.
Yeah. And, she wanted me to tell you about that. And also, I think it's ridiculous with these transgenders and the different people are doing and pushing in society. And I do think a lot of these companies put the LGBT stuff out for money.
Oh, of course. I mean, because you're talking about a company, they're trying to make money. There's they try to appease these certain little groups and whatnot for other financial reasons. Even if they're not able to necessarily sell some of their products, they're looking at bigger investments. It's a chess game with a lot of these companies that it all boils down to money.
Oh yeah, of course. And also, I want to say that a lot of the stuff, like Georgia Peach and I were talking about, how a lot of the things of race and different things are distractions from other stuff. And besides, her and my other friends talking about this, some other channels that were talking about the silver that I like to watch, so I'm interested in it, say that the Trump thing and the race stuff all has to do with the big distraction about the great financial crisis that's coming. What do you think?
That's possible.
Right. And it's good for people to be prepared with, like if a hurricane or something were coming, to not panic, but it's good for people to be prepared to have some maybe extra food and water and whatnot, because I think it's best to be prepared just in case if something were to occur.
Well, that should always be the case. Be ready for whatever.
Right. And also, I'll say about the California stuff on YouTube. I have friends out there, and I see it through YouTube lives. And it's it's an interesting place, and it is like a big party. But the people are very liberal, and on every corner, there's people on drugs, people in tents, and it's just absolutely absurd.
Yeah, it's really a shame that that's going on.
Yeah, yeah. And there's things to, and in California, they're pretty cool and all. Like New Orleans is, although it's not as bad as California, it still has good things about it. And, I know the people, they like the weather and things about California, but, as I said, it's up to them. But if they go to Tennessee or Georgia or Texas, they shouldn't complain about how the people are there.
Right. When in Rome, do as the Romans. It's very simple.
Exactly. Hey, I was just about to say that. I was just thinking about that yesterday. And, and it also, as I said, with the gun rights, I can't stress enough that, the people are just sitting ducks. You don't have them.
Yeah, basically, you got to be able to protect yourself.
Right, right. Because, like, the police will not always come, especially if you defund the police in these liberal areas. They're not going to come right away.
No, they can't be your bodyguards. You got to protect yourself, first and foremost.
Right. And also, I think I said this before, but like now with cryptocurrencies, that's something that I'm interested in, researching. And I think Bitcoin and Monero are interesting ones. If other people are interested in that kind of stuff, those are interesting things to research. And, because I like to look at different financial stuff because I'm interested in that. And also, my garden's going well that I'm growing.
Okay.
Yeah, I do that on my channel and stuff. Do you plant your own food or not?
Nah, I'm not quite that advanced. I still have to go to the grocery store, go to Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, it's a good hobby that I do. And also, that's all I have to say for this call. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it.
Goodbye.
All right. Charles, my man, for the call. Let's get to some more here. The number to call, 434-658-1220. 918, you're on the line. We're speaking to.
Hey, what's up, ABL? It's JB Scotchman from Oklahoma. How you doing?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Hey, not a lot, man. I'm just feeling better. Feeling better than I was last week.
Well, good to hear it.
And, yeah. But I just had one quick comment on that Dalai Lama story. It reminded me of something. You ever watch the movies with Charlie Sheen called Hot Shots?
No, I haven't.
Well, they're really hilarious movies. Like the first one is a parody of Top Gun, and the second one is basically a parody of him playing Rambo. he's living in this little Tibetan village. He's trying to stay away from war and just live a normal life. And then, of course, Colonel Troutman, his old boss, comes out there with this really hot CIA woman. They're trying to recruit him for a new job. And all the monks just start freaking out when they see that woman show up.
Of course.
They started doing dances and stunts and showing off their muscles to her, and trying to impress her. And this one guy, he's holding up a sign that says "Celibacy sucks." But I don't know. It reminded me exactly of that. But got Naked Gun. Yeah, those are great movies too. Yeah, Hot Shots. Yeah, both of them. It's one of the rare cases where the sequel, I think, in my opinion, was better than the original. The sequel you got to check those movies out, man. They're hilarious.
Oh, right on. Got to.
All right, man. All right. Well, love you, dude. Love everybody in the chat and all the callers, and I'll just sit back and listen, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right. Later, dude.
I shout out to you guys. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. The number to call is 434-658-1220. As always, in the description and also right there in the ticker at a certain point, just not right now. It'll come out there eventually. I'm going to read some of the chat here. Let's go to 254 to line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, how you doing tonight?
It's all good, man. What's going on?
Chilling out here. I finally got myself moved out here to Hawaii, so I left the blue state of California, going to a more bluer state, I guess you would say. So, but talked about a little bit of clown world things early on there too. I was actually surprised how some people still out here living a little bit of fear out here in Hawaii. So I've been out here seeing people walking around in masks and stuff in elevators. I'm like, yo, y'all probably in like the best area to be. We're living on an island. You got the breeze and the island life around you the entire time. I don't know why y'all still fearing. Anywho, glad to be able to catch some of the streaming stuff now because I'm on that 808 time frame, so I won't be able to call in as much, especially going back to ship life. Anywho, talk about some of that stuff with the Californians, leaving out there, going to our southern states. I'm from Texas originally, and it was amazing sitting out there seeing how, you know, Austin, Texas developed and turned into like what it looked like in San Diego, LA, and some of these blue cities that you see over here on the West Coast. And I'm sitting there, it's like, you guys want to come out here and enjoy our lifestyle, you want to enjoy the cheap property value, cost of livings, but you don't like the way our policies are run. You try to enact these same policies over here, it didn't work for you on the West Coast. Why is it going to work over here for us in the South? And you see how some of these cities start to get ruined a little bit. You see the cost of living and prices going up, drugs, poverty, et cetera, right? And I used to show my students when I was teaching at an instructor school, you know, some of the places I took them on my deployments and stuff. And there's a famous orange man who talked about third world poop hole countries that existed out there, and they're comparing it to what they see out here in San Diego and some of these other areas too. So I'm just sitting there saying, stuff like that didn't work. Texas was great for that because we had policy enacted out there and made cost of living a little bit cheaper. It's going to show my age a little bit when I went to college. But if you're paying in-state tuition out there, it's a lot cheaper for us in-state because we had such good taxes on the oil industry out there too. So we allowed and refunded it back into our state to help us out Texans right there. Laughed at the little FBI lingo and stuff too that we got into. I think it's funny that we're sitting over here spending taxpayers' money just so people that are at an older age can understand what some of this terminology actually means. You know, getting upset and just throwing it into like a giant pile to sit there and say, oh, you're red pill, oh, you're based. Man, that's a gig of Chad right there. Look, it's just lingo at all. It's just lingo at the end of the day, the way some people talking that. But to lump it into to sit over there and say this is some sort of domestic terrorist talk, things like that right there. I'm just sitting there just wondering, like, you guys are only doing this because we're not following to the think speak that you guys want us to go with. It's okay for people to sit over there on their side of the world to talk about how, you know, they have their lingo, they have their terminologies that they like to use. And like, especially if you want to talk about leftist lingo or LGBTQ elemental purity, verbology that they like to have. But people use this as a way to sit there and communicate on our side. We sit there and like, wow, that's actually a great idea. If I sit up there and said that's red pill, that's bad. But I like the way somebody else is probably talking over here. Again, it's just a way for them to figure out a way to control people to their narratives. They don't like the way those words and phraseologies getting set out. But I'll leave you on that one right there, man. I'm going to get back to taking care of some of the stuff right here. And don't forget to give me that 12% tip right there for the big guy. So, take care, ABL. You guys have a good one.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it. All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. All righty. Okay. I thought I answered one, but I was a little bit too slow to the trigger. Yeah, good call. Very good call. Let's get to calling line speaker 2757.
Yeah, Mr. Logan, Chest Street Bob here. How you doing?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Yeah, hey, I don't know if you've heard of this story, but have you heard about this gentleman out in Texas called Dane Perry?
No.
Well, apparently, this is back in 2020. He got surrounded at a impromptu BLM riot. And in the middle of it, some guy shoves a rifle through his window, and Mr. Perry pulled out his own pistol and lit him up. Well, he was convicted actually, of murder. And now Governor Abbott is trying to rush in a pardon for him. Do you know how that happened? Because, I mean, this is in Texas.
Right. I mean, I think I have seen that story where Abbott was trying to pardon him, but he shouldn't really be in that situation anyway, right?
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6, right?
Right.
And
exactly.
if somebody sticks a gun in my face, I'm probably going to react. But the only reason he got convicted is because he was in, unfortunately, Austin, Texas.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, yeah, you might have like a California jury out there, and that's not really going to go well for you.
I mean, that's like picking a Trump jury in New York, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. The other thing was I actually did want to give a shout out to Georgia Peach. I hope her and her mom do get better soon. Right. And the other gentleman that called in was talking about panhandlers. And I'm going to tell you a little story real quick about that. So I worked for 3 years, as I told you, at MIT, and I stayed at the Doubletree, which is actually across the river. So you'd have to go across the river to go into Cambridge, basically, anytime you're coming from Boston. And the first couple of weeks I was there, I got the same room every week for 3 years. And I got a balcony room, and I would look down, and right below me is one of the main bridges that go into Cambridge. And there was a couple of panhandlers on the corner because it was an exit ramp from the interstate that people would take to go into Cambridge, and they'd go to work, and then they would go down a block and come over the other to go back home. And there was a set of panhandlers down there every day. And then I'm not sure what time they would get there because I would go to work before they showed up. But every day at sunset, they would leave, walk into the parking lot at the Doubletree, got into a BMW and drive home. Okay. Now, when I first got there, the BMW was a brand new 325. They still had it 3 years later, but still fairly new BMW. So I don't know how much these people were getting. I know they were getting a lot, but my advice to everybody is if you want to give and support a panhandler, give to the Salvation Army.
Right. Exactly. If you're giving the money out there on the street, you never know where that's going. It can go to a drug habit. It can go to a lavish lifestyle. You never know. It can go anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think these two people were druggies. I think they just found a really good job where they could make, $120,000 a year each tax-free.
Right, exactly.
So anyhow, like I said, if you see a panhandler and you see him out there, just give the Salvation Army. But that's my advice, and I appreciate you taking my call.
Well, thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you.
All right, good night.
Yeah, the panhandlers, a lot of times, they're organized, and you can't really tell what's going on. I don't give anybody on the street any money at all, period, because some of these guys are organized, and they have a whole team behind them. It'd be 4 or 5 of them, work one area. You never know what's going on. I don't even really play around like that. Now I want to know, you know, line, who am I speaking to?
Yeah, you're speaking to Gary. I want to get my thoughts on the Californians' return to California. Okay, so California sucks. Florida's way better. If anything, you people in California should move to Florida because it's really better than California. I can tell you that much.
Right on.
And I've been to California. It's a boring place. There's really nothing going on. Like, the policy's dumb. I went to Florida. Florida's a beautiful place, beautiful people, friendly people, and it's 10 times better. I wish I could move to Florida, but I can't, unfortunately. So, yeah, that's how I feel about California. I just want to know what you think of my opinion.
I pretty much agree with you. California is not really for me. I was in LA, didn't like it too much. The city areas are not too good. If you're living out in the country areas, I think it's pretty nice out there. But the policies of the state, the high taxes, high cost of living, high gas, just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, I went to Northern California. It was boring. There was nothing there to do there. So I went to Fernandina in Florida. Dude, that place is amazing. 10 times better. Like, I love that place. So that's just my opinion, you know. So I just want to give my opinion. So thank you for listening, and goodbye.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. All right, shout out to the caller. You know, straight thief in the night. You know, in and out, sick and moving. Let's go to 928. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, Mr. Lincoln. This is Dylan Mulvaney. Thank you for taking my call.
All right, Dylan Mulvaney. What's happening?
I've drank a lot of Bud Light. I'm a little hungover. But I have some good news. I've been a part of this insider club for quite a while. I know all the rich people that run all the stuff and everything. They make all the decisions. And I have some proof that I want to come on your show and co-host with you, and I'm going to prove to you that Donald Trump is innocent of all the charges ever, that anything. And yeah, it's some big news, but you know, things aren't going for me. So, you know, they're not going too good. I've been drinking a lot of Bud Light. If I can just like crash on your futon couch in the corner, I can wash the dishes. Maybe you can, you know, help me out a little bit. I'm struggling here.
Hey, man, you got to figure out a way, man. You better call Bud Light and say, hey, give me a sponsorship package that provides a hotel. I can't help you out there, boss.
Well, I mean, George Soros told me the exact same scenario, and I don't know, man. Things aren't going too good for me. You know, I keep drinking this Bud Light. Here's a can of Coors Original. Hold on a second. Oh, gosh. I'm better now. Oh, my God. What did I do to my genitalia? Anyways, I got to come clean, Mr. Logan. It's not Dylan Mulvaney. It's Jack from AZ again. I've called in a few times doing this skit. You know, it's just can't help myself, man. But anyways, love the show. Love all you people out there in the comment section. Hope you're all doing good. Hope you all had a great Easter weekend. God bless you, Mr. Logan. God bless America. God bless our vets. And y'all take care now. Peace.
Peace. Thank you for the call. All right. Shout out to the caller. Let's go to 818. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yes. Hi. Forgive my voice. Getting over allergies. I'm originally from California. Grew up, in LA, and a year ago moved out to Texas. Best move I could ever done. You know, people out here are a lot more tolerant of different views. People are nice, kind. I feel more safer. And the best part is that my wife and kids, I think the last straw for us was like just how bad and dangerous it's getting. But for my wife and kids, it's wonderful out here. Love it. Absolutely love it. I don't think you couldn't pay me to go back. Now, the funny thing is, I do go back every once in a while for business trips, and I hate it every time I go. Now, last time I was there, I saw a coworker, and, a lot of Californians, I'll sit there and be like, well, it's beautiful out here. I was like, since when do you have time to even visit anything? Because usually you're working, you're stuck in traffic. You have to plan things out because everything's too crowded. She's like, now last time I was out there, it was raining a lot. And she points to the mountains, and she's like, the mountains are all beautiful, the green. I was like, when's the last time you went ahead and actually looked at it? She goes, well, right now. I said, no, unless it's on fire. When do you actually look at the mountains?
Right.
And I'm telling you right now, you get past it so much. You see them every day. You actually don't look at the beautiful parts of California because you're stuck on the grind. You're stuck on the you're on the freeways. And the only time you do pay attention to nature is when it's on fire, and it's like, it's stupid. And so I will never go back. And I can tell you right now, too, I'm not a bleeding heart liberal or anything else like that. I believe in the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, all that stuff. And, California will be like, yeah, you can own a gun. Yeah, but they make it virtually impossible to go ahead and use even to defend yourself with. Even the last time, when I used to live there, LAPD, they're like, yeah, if somebody breaks in your home, let them take your stuff, basically. And I kid you not, I could tell you one time I saw people stealing stuff out of the car. I called the police. They say, and I got on my camera because, the cameras around the building. They're like, hey, I said, they're doing this. They literally asked me, they're like, oh, do you know who it is? I said, no. They're like, well, what do you expect us to do about it? You see, the reason why they say the crime is down is because they don't even take reports, or they don't have time to take reports. And so, I mean, I'm done with that backward state. I'm much happier on now. So, to everybody out there, and not all those Californians are crazy like that. Just saying. And a lot of them that are crazy like that are transplants to California. They probably were transplanted to California, moved out, and want to go back, and then they just go ahead and cry because of weather. So I mean, much happier. Anyway, that's all I got to say, ABL. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, man, I'm hearing that a lot about people that have left California. It's better where they are now. 702 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yes, hello. This is David from Nevada.
All right, man. What's going on?
Hey, not much. Hey, I just wanted to talk about how amazing the Bud Light situation. It just shows how powerful the consumer is. It's not about just who we vote for politically, but who we vote for with our dollars is very powerful. I find it amazing. What did the stock price go down like 30%?
Yeah, it definitely did go down. I think it was like a $4 billion loss in the stock value. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's just kind of amazing. It just shows that we do have power. We got to watch what companies that we invest in. I think that is truly going to make a difference. It's great. It's kind of put Bud Light in a rock and a hard spot now. I don't know what they're going to do. I think it's possible. It may be the end of Bud Light. Do you think that's possible?
I mean, I don't know, because I'm not really sure if that many people are aware of what's happening with this whole Dylan Mulvaney situation. So, I mean, it could be, but I'm not sure if it will be.
Yeah, absolutely. But if nonetheless, the press, and it shows that their clients, their connoisseurs of the Bud Light, have definitely spoken. And I just think that was just a really big positive event. So I was really happy to see that whole event go that way, so that I just think there was a time when politics were not involved with business. It was two separate things. And I think that's a good thing, that we don't involve politics or wokeism with businesses. I just think corporations need to lay off that. And maybe that will start, that process. And the second thing that I wanted to talk about is your video on Californians returning. I'm here in Nevada, and I will tell you, we almost got the Congress, seat last year, but because of, if you looked on the map, on the political map here in Las Vegas, it leaned a little bit more level, even though it was neck and neck. But we did get Lombardo for our governor, which was definitely a big win for us. Republican governor, so much glad we got him over Sisolak any day of the week. But it just goes to show, with the migration of people, it can change the political climate, which I think is a real unfortunate thing. Nevada is a very unique state. We are, right to carry state. There's no state tax here. It's really a great place. But just like your concerns, over there in Tennessee, I always have concerns of too many of the wrong California people. Orange County people, come right over. But the Hollywoods and San Diego and the San Francisco, they come here too, and they definitely change the political climate here in Nevada, and as well as really in Vegas.
Right on, absolutely.
No, definitely. Very good. And hey, ABL, I just wanted to hop on and just give those, just talk about those two subjects briefly. Really appreciate you taking my call, and we'll let some other people get on the line here.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Anytime. Bye now.
All right. Shout out to the caller. And thank you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. The phone lines are jumping. Y'all please hold tight. Let's go. Calling my speaker to 347.
Hey, what's going on, ABL? How you doing?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Nothing much. Hey, I just wanted to say, don't feel so bad, man. I got a car wash subscription too, man. Yeah, but I'm gonna be saving a little bit of money next month because my car's in the shop. I had to do some to my vehicle. So I think it works out for me. I don't really mind it at all. I mean, it's actually one of my favorite subscriptions, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, it makes sense. You just drive right up, go through the car wash, and no fuss, no muss, in and out.
Exactly, and I'm the type that I like to get out. Like I have like all my little towels and everything, and I'll detail my car or whatever, you know. So and I clean my wheels and all that stuff. So I'm a big car guy. So, but yeah, and one other thing, real quick, you heard about that 12-year-old and that 17-year-old that was involved in that triple homicide in Florida and Marion County? You heard about that story?
Yeah, like they're talking about it was like some gang related. I've been following that kind of loosely a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the story yesterday. And I don't know why it struck me, but I saw the 12-year-old boy. I was just like, wow, man, this looks like a baby, you know. And I'm just like, man, he's gonna. And then the other boy is a 17-year-old boy. I think they're looking for another one. But the 17-year-old boy, he looks like he's gonna have a rough time in there. He looks like he's oh man, these kids, I don't see how they get themselves into all this stuff, man. Wow, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's totally crazy, and it's not necessarily uncommon. I've heard about these young kids being involved. It's just, a lot of times they get the older kids that get them wrapped up in it. It's a shame.
Yeah, and I like the sheriff's take on it too. I mean, he's just like, basically like, what do you this isn't. I think one of the reporters asked him about like, what he thinks about it. But like, if it's the gun's fault or the individual's fault. And he's like, well, of course, what do you think? The gun's gonna just grow legs and go commit these homicides? I mean, so he had a good take on it. So yeah. Right. Just sad that things like this have to happen, but anyway, ABL, nice watching your show and everything. I'll probably hit the car wash up next month, man. Take it easy.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Then.
All right, let's go to 928. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, ABL. Long time no hear. This is Jennifer Casey.
All righty. What's going on?
I know. It's been a while since I called in. I'm known as Mentalist wife now. So I changed my name. So you remember about a year ago we were talking about the New World Order?
I'm not really sure.
Yeah, well, we were talking about all of that. It's so weird that people have forgotten that Biden made that babbling speech. He slipped up, and he wasn't supposed to, and he talked about the New World Order. And it seems like, a lot of people have forgotten that, and they don't realize what is happening to America. And this New World Order with Finland becoming NATO, all of this is falling in according to their plan. And we just have to keep fighting it. And then what's your take? Do you think we're going to go into a revolutionary war or what?
I don't think it was going to, I don't think it'll go that far.
You don't?
Yeah, I don't really see that happening. Anything's possible, but I really don't see it happening.
Yeah, I hope not. But, I hope we can take a stand and fight back. We all need to speak up, and fight back. Doing what we're doing now, being real Americans, standing up. And I appreciate those who don't cower down. And I appreciate you, ABL.
Well, thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
You're welcome. And you have a good night. And thanks, callers.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. All righty. Les, what's happening?
Hey, ABL, how are you?
Everything's so good about yourself.
Good, good. Thank you for asking. I just wanted to go ahead and so I also have a car wash subscription, so don't feel bad. I think it's like the best thing ever, instead of stopping, putting your card or cash and paying, waiting for the little, the little lift gate to lift up and stuff I think it's the best investment anyone can make. Anywho, I wanted to go ahead and just give my quick comments on the U.S. tipping culture. I think it's getting very much out of hand, ABL, because I don't go and purchase Starbucks coffees anymore. I just make my own stuff at home now, especially because, the inflation is going up. And I think it's ridiculous, to give them an additional money for what exactly is this, the same drink, but whatever, it's inflation. I get it, whatever. Okay. Anyways, like I know Starbucks, Panera, all these like kind of like fast food, like little like nothing crazy where you're actually gonna sit and dine in, and have a waitress or a waiter come at your table. Like they all ask you that before you make the payment. And it is getting very much out of control. And I do believe that the same way that you explained it, ABL, that for me to tip, it literally has to be me sitting down and actually getting the best, utmost, excellent, pretty much customer service that you can give me while I'm there dining at your restaurant.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that makes sense. That's where most people pretty much land at, and that's what the tip is for. But then it's like, okay, I'm just going to the front counter and picking up the food, and then you say, okay, you want to tip there? It's like, well, it goes against what to be regular tip for good service, great service.
ABL, like honestly, like am I really gonna go and tip you? Like I haven't even tasted the food. I haven't even opened it, especially if it's pickup. A lot of the times, like I'm not even going to lie to you, like before when I used to go buy Starbucks, yeah, I used to give them a tip, but then I would taste the coffee and it was either too bland or it was not sweet enough. You get me? So it's like, no. I don't like that stuff. So that is just like, it depends on what we're doing, where we're going, where the tip then counts, right? Or it's in question in the mind. And then the second thing I wanted to go ahead and give a quick comment on was the Californians returning. That's not happening, ABL. I call bluff. Why? Who would want to go if individuals really were fortunate enough, to leave their blue states, right, and get out of the high tax, the high crime, the deep corruption in that state. Why and they go to a red state, right? Because that's usually where they're relocating to. And it's, lower taxes, the crime rate's lower, the state's managing the funds a little bit better, right? Why in the heck? Why in the HE double hockey sticks, like you said last time, would these Californians then go back, to their home state? It's ridiculous, ABL. I call big time bluff. We all know that's not happening. I think that the individual that went out there and actually spoke and said that, I think that, they're just trying to make the state look good, kind of advertising like, yeah, the state of California is good. And look at even the people that left and relocated are coming back. No. We all know that's not true. But I'm going to leave it as that. I want to wish you a wonderful night, everybody in the chat. God bless you. We'll see you next time. And the little Patriots want to say good
night. Good night, y'all. Thank y'all.
Take care of you. Bye-bye.
All right. Great call. Yeah, I don't think the Californians, I think they are trying to stay put. They don't really want to go nowhere. The few that do go back, they're few and far in between. But a lot of them should go back, in my opinion. 773 on the line speaking to.
ABL, it's your retired Chicago police officer friend. I'm 100% Italian, so I like giving you that tip so you get to my call, ABL. So thanks a lot for that.
No problem.
Anyway, here's my take on that, the California residents moving back. Socialism doesn't work. And these socialists from places like, let's say, San Francisco, they love their liberal policies. School boards with socialist curriculum, drag queen reading hour, critical race theory. They're soft on crime. They want to defund the police. They're overtaxing businesses and the working class. When these socialist policies play out and they don't work and end up devastating these cities with high crime, homelessness, businesses and tourism leaving, loss of investment money, huge debt and shortfalls in their city budget. When these things happen because of these leftist policies, they want to blame everyone and everything except themselves for the negative effects that these policies cause. But what they do is some of these leftists end up discarding their cities like an old paper bag, and they move to these other communities, places, other states where they have enclaves of like-minded people, like in Austin, Texas, and some places in New Mexico or Arizona. They move to these places and they change the politics of those places. So they'll do that, but they keep changing it with the same policies they have that devastated those other cities where they were there longer, like Chicago and San Francisco and places like that. But for some of those people, they made the mistake, the Californians, they made the mistake of moving to communities like in Oklahoma or Tennessee or Missouri, where, conservative people there have no problem telling you that your policies are BS and you're not going to get a foothold in their state or in their community. And those are the people that I believe are moving back to California because, they're hurt. They're hurt with your language and how can you talk to me like that? And they end up saying, let me go back to California where at least people kowtow to my precious feelings out here. But the real underlying problem, ABL, is the refusal for these liberals to acknowledge the fact that it's their leftist socialist policies that caused this devastation in these cities in the first place. And as long as they don't see where the problem is, which is their policies caused this, look at all the murders in Chicago, blah, blah, blah. It's your policies on crime and everything else that caused these problems. And until they see that, you're still going to have, places like these liberal places, Chicago and San Francisco and LA and New York and other places. And it's not going to get any better. And they're going to keep voting the same idiots into office, like Biden or somebody like him. Or somebody like our new mayor God knows what's going to happen with that guy. Anyway, ABL, that's my 2 cents, and I'll talk to you later.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you, brother.
All right. Great call. Shout out to the call. And you guys are fantastic. Thank you for being here. The number to call is 434-658-1220. All right. Skype caller, who am I speaking to? I can't hear you if you're speaking. Your mic is off. I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Okay, you almost had it.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you.
Okay. I always forget that stupid thing flashing at me. I have 2 different studios. One mic flashes when it's working. The other one is always on when it's working. So I always get the 2 confused. Sorry about that. Greetings. It's Laura the Goddess from Here's What I Heard.
All right.
You can hear me all right now, right?
I hear you well.
Okay, awesome. I heard Dylan call you earlier. It's nice to know that I'm not the only one that gets weirdos calling me sometimes.
Hey, it happens.
On my show. It actually makes sometimes for good content, but it's also frustrating sometimes, especially when you're on a serious topic or something like that. Except for one person, we've been a sausage factory tonight. So I decided to call in and give you some more female information, I guess.
Well, that sounds
or content.
Good. Right.
Let's see. This Budweiser thing. I think they did this on purpose. They're just like everyone else. They want clicks. They want eyeballs. And just like Trump, Dylan seems to have been able to capture that somehow or another. To be honest with you, he would have actually been considered campy back in the 80s.
Who was that now? You talking about Biden?
Dylan.
Okay.
Yes, I don't actually like to pronounce his name very often or very much because he's already getting way too much attention. In fact, I get on YouTube now, and his face is all I see. Even our side is using him for clicks. Everyone is using him for clicks right now.
Yeah.
So, frankly, I'm sick of hearing about him. But these companies, and I was going to say, you guys were talking about Budweiser and Anheuser-Busch. Since then, he's gotten a contract with Nike female clothing, which, I never bought Nike anyway. They never had anything for me. Their clothes were just cheap crap, and you were paying a lot of money for the name.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that? I never could fit into their shoes either for some reason. They were way too narrow. And I even have a narrow foot, so. But yeah, he's turned into that side's Trump, if you will. And again, it's all about the clicks. It's all about the eyeballs. These kids that are taking over the companies now, they don't have any idea how to run a business. It's all about the social media. It's all about the clicks. It's all about the attention. They don't know how to run a business. They don't know what making money is. You could tell. In fact, you could tell by the fact that when that lady came on and described what she was doing, because she was taking over, new VP or whatever her name was, some long German name. First thing she said, if you have to tell people this kind of thing, then you're not really. But the first thing out of her mouth was, "I'm a businesswoman." No, you're not. You're a clickbaiter. That's what you are.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the only way to make Dylan go away is to stop talking about him. Let that side have him. Stop talking about him, because he really is not affecting our side really at all if you really think about it. And that's one of the reasons, again, why I don't talk about him that much. I haven't covered him. Everybody else is doing it fine for me. Besides that, I don't give free advertising for people like that. He doesn't deserve any of my support or anything. He's getting plenty from everybody else, and it's getting monotonous. It's getting tiring. Let's see. Okay, one of the things I wanted to ask you about, I don't know if you mentioned this or not. I came in just a little bit late. How about that restrict bill?
I'm not familiar with it.
According to what I'm hearing and what I'm reading about it, and actually you can go on .gov and actually read it, but it literally gives the government permission to take over every single one of our electronics.
Oh yeah, I have seen that. Yeah.
And you were actually talking about the FBI thing, where now they've got these words for incels, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Do you think those might actually be tied together? The government all of a sudden is going to take over everything and make it illegal to have a VPN, which is crazy.
Well, I think the Restrict Act is part of them trying to ban TikTok, and the whole thing with the FBI blacklisted, like the FBI is already looking at certain words. They're already kind of putting you on a list if you say certain things or if you kind of into that community. So that's already in motion. That's already in motion.
If you've read the bill, though, TikTok's not anywhere on it.
Yeah, but that's what they're trying to make it. They're trying to make that be what it's under, but there's a lot more to that.
Well, like I say, they might be trying to ban TikTok, but it's probably only going to be words in the atmosphere because it's not in the bill anywhere.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if you thought that had those two things actually are connected in some way, because they're both coming out at the same time as far as that goes too. Or actually, the FBI all of a sudden is coming out with this. I don't know how long it's been in force.
Yeah, I'm not sure. They could be.
Okay, well, hopefully somebody will call me tomorrow on my show, and I appreciate you taking my call. I just wanted to ask you about the freedom of speech thing. Of course, that's my stick.
Right on. Well, thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Hello and goodbye, everyone in the chat. Come see me tomorrow night at 7, and you have a blessed night.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Good night.
All right. Shout out to you guys in the chat. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. I got a little bit of time left. Yeah, the whole thing about the FBI and those words, I feel like that's been like that for a long time. That's not even really anything new. But now they having a bunch of other stuff they're trying to link to it, I guess. 925 hit online. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Gio. Night at ABL. I can't believe I got through. Hope all is well on your end.
It's all good, boss.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Now, are we ready to talk about Jews?
I mean, what you want to talk about?
Why is it still a thing where, and why haven't we heard about them and their disgusting practice of oral circumcision?
Let's not. I mean, come on, man. You know what? Because I already knew where we were going. I was wanting to give him a little opportunity. But we're not talking about that type of stuff. And, you know, to me, I'm going to say this one more time, and I've said it repeatedly before. Jews are the white man's white man. It's like the white man is the person you blame for everything. That's why I always say blame the white man. It's a joke because blaming the white man for everything is kind of ridiculous. It's the same thing with the Jews. You know, you just want to blame the Jews for everything because you don't have things going on in your life that you want to go on, so you're going to have somebody to blame. That's what's happening, in my opinion, but I digress. 480, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, how's it going? My name is BJ. I'm from Arizona, out in Phoenix.
All righty, man. What's happening?
Yeah, can't believe I got through. I literally just called. So about the previous caller that was talking about the Dylan Mullaney, I think is the person who's on the Bud Light. I think we're giving too much power to the person by constantly talking about it, because if we're really trying to, like, you know, make a point here that, you know, that we're against this, perhaps not giving so much attention to it may be the right thing to do. What do you think?
I mean, I don't know, like, to be fair here, when we say don't talk about it, we're still talking about it. You know, I didn't want to say that when the last caller, because I'm trying to be nice, but I mean seriously, because, you know, it's like, it's weird because what I see on my social media feed is people that are talking about him a lot directly and those that are saying don't talk about him. But it's like I see his name equally on both sides. I think if you what you're saying is correct, but the best way to address it would be to just practice what you would preach and just don't even really mention it. Because the more you talk about it, saying don't talk about it, it's just like being talked about. This is, I think, part of the reason why these companies put a Dylan Mulvaney on there, because they don't care nothing about they don't care anything about anything other than the views. So whether it's hate views or love views, it's still views.
And see, this is the thing about this whole woke thing, is it's really messing these companies up. It's messing up their bottom line. It's messing up their stocks. Everything is just going down. It's really, really bad on the overall economy. Like Bud Light, they're losing the market down in the South. The South is probably one of the biggest markets for Bud Light, you know, and now that it's all, you know, conservative there, and now that's going away. So yeah, it's affecting the banks. It's affecting all these big corporations. It's not helping them. Not at all.
Yeah.
This woke culture is going to have consequences.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I mean, we're going to see. I'm interested to see how the whole thing is going to play out in the end. Are they really going to are they going to reverse course? Are they going to continue to lose market share? Like, what's going to happen?
For sure. Well, that's all I have tonight. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Yeah, man. The whole thing with Dylan Mulvaney is just one of those things. It's like you talk about him to expose the problem. You still talking about him. If you say don't talk about him, you still talking about him. If you admire the guy, you still talking about him. I think all they care about is the eyes on it. They don't really care. They think all publicity is good publicity. But I think maybe that's going to backfire, because people that see stuff like this are going to be kind of grossed out. When they see this cat popping up on their social media feed and you're drinking Bud Light, they might not really like that too much. So it's just one of those weird things, man. This whole thing is just kind of weird. You know, it's gotten kind of out of control. You know, that's just what it is. Teeny Verse says, honestly, I'd like to see ABL on Tempool. I'll go on Tempool whenever they, you know, all they got to do is hit me up. And I say, we can get rocking and rolling. Who am I speaking to? 757 on the line.
Peace, ABS. Michael Critchlow from Newport News, PA.
All right, man. What's going on?
Ain't nothing much, man. Just wanted to shout, say what's up to you, man. Love the show. All the callers calling in. Just show you some love, man, from VA.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you for your call.
Hey, check it out. The only way that we can really, I'm going to do my part though. I just want to say to everybody in the chat, if you're drinking Bud Light or if you used to drink Bud Light, how dare you? Because that beer has always been whack. Okay, so if you were drinking Bud Light, then you had no business drinking it anyway. So the only way I think we can keep this movement going and make sure that they lose more money. Well, I'm going to do my part and just go ahead and chastise everybody in the chat, because the real normie beer is actually Corona. You know what I'm saying? Corona and Heineken. So if you was drinking Bud Light, you was already doing a terrible thing, in my opinion. But I know the show's about to wrap up. I just want to shout out to all send a shout out to the real breweries out here in VA, Hampton Roads, Traditions Brewery out here in Newport News, Coastal Fermentory out here in Newport News, New Realm Brewery in Virginia Beach. Shout out to Chesapeake Bob. I know he calls in a lot. They got Big Ugly Brewery out there. And if you want to turn up and get your buzz on, go to your local brewery, wherever you're from in the United States, because they got the best tasting beer. And get ready to stop drinking that Bud Light if you were drinking it. You know what I mean? So, but that's all I got, ABL. I love your show, man. You know I love you, man. Keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Thank you for your call, man. Appreciate you.
All right, take care.
Yeah, man. Shout out to my man from Virginia. Right on point. Yeah, I'm not a beer guy. I don't know nothing about beer really, but I mean, what do y'all think Bud Light is a good beer, bad beer? Y'all tell me. I don't know a thing about any of that. I'm a complete novice when it comes to the beer drinking. So y'all let me know if Bud Light is like the beer, the go-to beer to drink, or no. You know, I showed you guys that hoarded up house. The hoarded up house with all the Bud Light everywhere. It was one house that had. Hold on. It was one house that had hoarded up. Let me see. It had hoarded up beer cans, and then one with the beer bottles. The beer cans was real gross, but the beer bottles wasn't as bad. It was, like, if this is your house in the comments, if this is your house in the chat, please speak up. If this is you and you are in love with Bud Light like this, y'all please speak up, man. Don't be quiet over there. All right. I know it's one of y'all that loves Bud Light like this. Dylan Mulvaney could never drink this much. All right. I mean, you got to be really dedicated to drink that much Bud Light. Like, what if you don't consume any other thing? No food, water, nothing. Just Bud Lights in the bottles. No cans. And there was another one. The other video was kind of gross. I ain't gonna show that one, but the other one had cans. Only cans. Just only bottles. I don't know what the obsession is. Did they put some kind of special ingredient in it that attacks certain people genetically? I can't tell what's really going on. But that will be a wrap for me. Thank you for being here yet again. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you enjoyed what you heard tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. This is also a podcast you're listening to right now. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether that be Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, Apple, iTunes, etc. That link will be in the description box, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platforms and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. And we got super chats on deck. Then I wrap it on up. Put the bowl clean on top. Thank you to all the moderators keeping the trolls nice in check. Thank you to everybody that's been watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you're doing. I gotta go, Howdy. I gotta go. But thank you all for being here. You guys are fantastic. Super chats on deck. Then I wrap it on up. Thank you to I just got one right here. That's all. Tri-Edge 716 says, I'm for tipping patriots and proponents of truth. Here's mine. There you go. Right on point. Great way to end the show. I'll be back live again on Saturday, same time, 8 p.m. to right around 11 p.m. And, of course, Myth Author Walk the Week, putting out pre-recorded content. I think my video I got coming out tomorrow morning is about Elon and the BBC reporter and them getting into it back and forth. But if you have any tips, any news tips, y'all can email me. Emails on the website, contact@anthonyblogan.com. Again, the email is contact@anthonyblogan.com. If you cannot remember the email, you want to know how to spell it, go to my website. All my links will be right there in the description box. If you are listening to the audio only platform, there should be some kind of box area somewhere where all the information is. But that'll be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.